Hello and welcome to Forge TV's showing of the ice hockey finale of Varsity 2026. I am Max Morris and I'm joined by Zach Hughes and our ice hockey pundit Dylan Pick today. Now we are expecting a hell of an affair. The atmosphere in here is electric right now. You can hear both sides going crazy. Now, I must say before we go into the action tonight, the varsity score is actually already decided. 67-29 to Uni of, which is actually a hell of a lot of a difference between last year, where it was a lot wider. But it's going to be a crazy one tonight. Varsity in general has been fantastic. Zach, we spoke earlier about our highlights. What's the highlights for you?
Honestly, Max, I think we have to talk about the American football. You know, the Sheffield Sabres managed to beat Hallam for the first time in 15 years. What a strong performance from them.
Incredible.
Obviously, everyone loves an underdog story, and they performed so well and got the win. And, you know, I'm sure the players will be absolutely ecstatic with that. Max,
yeah.
What about you?
No, definitely. I also think their netball as well definitely deserves a mention. Last year, out of the 7 varsity matches, Hallam won 6 out of the 7. This year, it was a complete reverse, with Uni of taking 6 victories over 7. And anyone that was at EIS last Monday, wow. The noise that was coming from both netball teams was crazy. The atmosphere in there, wild. Absolutely loved it. We spoke about the boxing earlier as well, Zach. What a night that was on Monday.
That was definitely my favourite event. You know, University of Sheffield Boxing managed to win for the 4th time in a row. And I think you'd agree, Max. You know, the atmosphere was electric in there. And the final score was actually 9-4 to Uni of, which, to be honest, I wouldn't say that reflected the gap in quality. I would say that Hallam were pretty good and they did put up a good fight, but Uni of were just better. And obviously I know a lot of the lads and the work they put in behind the scenes in preparation was just, you know, they really did go all in.
Definitely, the matchups as well were really evenly done as well. Really nice. I also want to give a shout out to the swimming as well. Hallam did come away with a victory as expected, but it was a fantastic performance from Uni of swimming. They won 7 out of the 20 events, and I said on the stream before how big any victory will be. They also made history. This Uni of swimming team was the first time that they ever won a varsity relay. Absolutely fantastic. But we're here today for one reason. We're here for the finale, ice hockey. Dylan, what sort of affair are we expecting to see today? Sorry.
Well, you said that varsity's already won. But this is the event to remember. If you look behind us, there are nearly 10,000 fans in this building.
Sold out.
It is the biggest ice hockey arena in the country. It's balmy in here, it's loud, we can barely hear ourselves. And regardless of what's happening in all the other events, in 12 months' time, this is the one we're going to be talking about, remembering come Varsity 2027, who won the ice hockey. It's set to be an electric affair. Hallam last year were massive underdogs and rightly lost. The same thing looks to happen this year, but Hallam had some massive grit and they've already made one upset in the ice hockey. You lot spoke about your favourite events. Mine was the women's ice hockey, where there was an upset in that one. Hallam avenging last year's heavy defeat and beat Uni of 8-5. And many of the Uni of women's team players are playing here tonight. They play senior women's hockey in the 2nd division for the Sheffield Shadows in this country. They are some experienced players and they were beaten by the sheer grit that Hallam have, and I'm expecting to see that again tonight. I still think Uni of are heavy favourites coming into it, but I don't think it's going to be a walkover.
Well, Dylan, it sounds like we're gearing up for a very exciting affair. Any stand-up performers we should be looking for?
Straight away, I look down at my team sheet. Number 4 for University of Sheffield, Emil Oksanen. The team that plays out of this building regularly sells it out almost week in, week out. The Sheffield Steelers, one of the biggest ice hockey clubs in this country. He trains with them. He plays for their little sister club in the National League, 2nd division of British hockey. A true semi-professional, some professional players in it. He currently plays at 19 years old in that league for the Sheffield Steel Dogs and is obviously regularly training with the Steelers. We're going to talk about and mention about the GB University players that are going to be playing in the Universiad, either in 2027 or 2029, but they're aiming for 2027 in China. There are many that in 2023 went to Lake Placid with the men's and 2025 went to Turin with the women. He's played for the GB under-20 squad. No university side. He played with the big boys in the World Junior Championships earlier this year.
So he's actually used to playing in an event as big as this, in a crowd just like this one.
He's gonna, if anyone knows how to cope with pressure on that side, it's gonna be Emil Oksanen. Born in London, played his junior hockey in Streatham, spent a couple of years in Finland, and he's really, started to own his craft, and the time with these Steelers in trainings really helped develop his game. And lots of people are saying it won't be long until he's getting regular minutes playing professionally in this building.
Wow, it's amazing to have those sorts of players of that sort of quality at Sheffield Varsity. And I feel like things like that really make it what it is. But one talking point that I want to mention as well, a lot of these players that will be here tonight are actually teammates in some regard. That must add a very different dynamic to this sort of game.
Well, if anyone remembers the game last year, they may be friends on that ice when they're playing for the Bears. When they put on their university colours, there is no love lost. Sebastian Shalito got an amazing goal, a viral goal, going coast to coast and ripping one in, somehow tucking it past the Hallam netminder. He then got ejected in the game for fighting. Bit of rough stuff. Just because they're teammates with the Bears doesn't mean they're not afraid to start throwing hands. And that's one of the spectacles about hockey. You can hear the atmosphere here. Some of these that are booing, they're going to be friends as well, Uni of and Hallam students, and they do not like each other tonight.
Once again, it's credit to the event. I think it's really, really nice to see sportsmanship at the end of every match. But the rivalry is real. You will hear the chanting, you will hear it going on between the crowds. It is real. This is what Sheffield Varsity is all about.
Oh yeah, and believe me, hockey's a sport about fast pace and big, strong bodies, big hits, and there's going to be some tonight. There's going to be some adverse reactions. There was lots of it in varsity twos, and that's no offence of lesser skill. When you've got better skilled players that know how to control a hit into the boards and shoulder to shoulder on the open ice, get these big wow factors that are going to raise this roof. Some people don't take a liking to that, and that's when you start seeing players getting niggly at each other, and where the real wow factor of hockey can start to shine.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, face-off is upon us. I think we've got a ceremony going on just beforehand.
Well, I think we just need to let Dylan go to take his commentary seat.
Thank you, boys. I will join you in the deck.
Thank you very much, Dylan. Well, Zach, we're approaching that time. It's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very exciting. I'm G'd up, definitely. I know the rest of them are as well.
Yeah, the crowd, like I've said, the crowd is really starting to fill out. I think seeing it sold out as well really just adds something special to the night. The finale, this is the one, like Dylan said, this is what people will talk about. This is what we've been waiting for. And it's also a really nice opportunity for people to come together, whether you're Hallam or University of Sheffield. You get that opportunity to celebrate tonight. Your match, whatever you played in, or someone that you know that's played in, it just brings a real togetherness.
It has. It's been a long 3 weeks. Varsity has been going on for 3 weeks now. We're in the 3rd week. This is the final event. It's been a great time. Wouldn't you agree, Max?
Yeah, it really, really has. Well, they are starting to roar now, so we will pass you on to our commentary team, and we will catch you after that first period.
Again tonight.
Absolutely. We've got an arena here full of students. Everyone is packed out. They're ready to go. The energy is clear to see. I can hardly hear myself think, let alone talk. I suppose that's what people at home. We've got the teams ready to make their walkout shortly. We'll get underway.
The University of Sheffield have only ever won 2 of the ice hockey finales, but they were in the past 3 years, and this is a stacked team. I said just moments ago on the punditry bit, Emil Oksanen's one to watch out for, but Luke Creed in NIHL2, the 4th league in British hockey, in senior hockey, some semi-professional players. He's got the most points out of any defenseman in that league. He's played 7 games this year and he's got 9 assists. That's at uni level. Hear that noise. The atmosphere is balmy in here. What are you expecting today, Max?
I'm expecting a good game. I'm expecting a tough game. Obviously, we talked about the punditry, you know, just how these two teams, they get along, they play together, but the energy in here, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't be able to tell. I'm expecting to see hopefully some fights, hopefully some goals, a lot of energy from both sides, energy from the fans as well. Just a big finale, a big end to Varsity, another one.
Believe me, they may be teammates with the Bears when they play University, but there is no love lost on that ice rink. 200 foot of sheer wow factor. That's what hockey is. If you've never seen an ice hockey game before, you are in for an absolute treat. And that's one of the best things about Varsity, in my opinion, especially getting ice hockey. It's one of the most underappreciated sports in the world. And so many of these students, this will be their first time going to a match, and they fall in love. They start going to regular games, and Varsity is one of the biggest things to grow ice hockey in this country, and it is such a spectacle. All the organisers just do an amazing job.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, every time I've come here, whether it's as a fan or whether it's here working the streams, you just feel the energy. You feel so attached to it, even if you have no idea how ice hockey works. Even if you're just there to watch a few people run into each other, the energy is so obvious. And all the students are here packed out. So not every one of these guys in here is going to be a hockey fan. But what they are, they're fans of the university, they're fans of the sport, the spirit of it all as well. Like you say, there's not much more that can do good sport of ice hockey more than that.
You may not come into this building an ice hockey fan, but believe me, you leave it in love with how amazing, how fast-paced it is. Some people complain football can be too slow. A lot of people love tiki-taka football tactics. It's just bang, bang, bang. That's just hockey. Yep. It is 110% every time. You don't get a 0-0, and for a 0-0 to happen in hockey, you've had two amazing goalies at each end.
Exactly.
Football, you may see 5 shots on goal at a push. These lot will be pushing up to 40 saves each. They will be facing an abundance of shots. There are some top quality netminders here as well. Hayden Oates, he's been playing in goal for a long, long time. He's only 20 years old, but he is a former junior in the Sheffield Ice Hockey Academy, and now he's one of those players that plays senior hockey. He's got 25 games played in the NIHL2 with the Sheffield Titans. He's got an 88 save percentage in his senior career, 4.8 goals against his averaging. Those numbers at this is going to be pretty good.
Absolutely. Here we go, the referees are coming onto the ice now. We're ready to get this ceremony started. Fans have got their torches out. Starting to settle down just a little bit as we build up the start of the finale of Varsity 2026. As the first Sheffield Hallam players getting ready to come onto the ice.
This is the quietest this building will get. Right on cue. Hallam have just been announced. The referees are out skating. We'll try and introduce them as we go. There's the starting netminder on the big screen, Evan Byron Bates. He plays senior hockey as well, and that's where that netminding matchup is going to come in really key.
Absolutely. Here we go. 4 Hallam players coming onto the getting ready to start things off here. Callum McNeil on the ice now for Sheffield Hallam.
Well, one of the biggest boos we got as the Hallam players are being introduced is Holly Neenan. She's already played a varsity ice hockey game this year. She was one of those Hallam players that won women's varsity. She got 2 goals in that as well, 2 of the 8. But the reason the boos won't bother her, she is one of the best referees in this country. She regularly referees Elite League and National Ice Hockey League games. So first and second tier games, and obviously in any sport, the referees, they always get an earful. Absolutely. She loves it. Face is not going to bother her, and she's going to be one of those senior players, and it sounds daft at 24 years old saying you're a senior player, but at university age, she's going to be one of those thick-skinned veteran players that the first timers are going to have to rely on.
Absolutely. It's all about experience at a certain point. We've got so many incredible hockey players on the ice tonight. It's not like any other university sport where you've got people that are playing, maybe with friends, playing socially, going so they can go on the night out afterwards. These guys are serious about their sport. They're serious about this ice hockey, and that is what makes the quality so clear to see. These people that have been in the sport for as long as they have, coming out, not just enjoying themselves, but really giving us a high-quality match.
Oh yeah, and the quality's there. These aren't some people that have just picked it up playing at university. Some of them have been playing since they were 5 years old. There's a legend on the bench as well. Michael Zalossi, head coach of the University of Sheffield, had his number retired, the first person in British university ice hockey history to get his number retired. He's been here right from the very start, originally from Toronto, and as his side get announced for Raw Just Lift. He is the current head coach of the GB University women's team. We mentioned about the 2023 men's team that went to the university out in Lake Placid, a historic place in itself. He was their head coach then. He's the current assistant coach of the Sheffield Shadows, so he knows many of the girls that are on these teams, and he's the former head coach of the Sheffield Scimitars in NIHL 1, the 3rd division of British hockey. That is a man who's got an abundance of hockey knowledge, and it stretches far beyond him just being Canadian. His son as well, Will Zalossi, was on that university, the University team in 2023. He's also one of those players who's been playing since he was so young. He plays senior hockey. He's currently at the Nottingham Lions, and this weekend he's got the NIHL 1 quarterfinals against the league champions, the Blackburn Hawks. So that's a man who knows a big occasion as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And here we go. We're struggling to hear each other now because as the University of Sheffield players come onto the ice, the roar from this side of the stadium is just incredible. People are really fired up for this game so far. And that's without us even getting through half the players on this team. There's still so much quality here. You can remember Sam Parkin from last year scored a fantastic goal to send the fans mental. Do you think we're expecting more of that from him today?
You're going to have to repeat yourself. It is so loud in here, but all I could think of was we got an appetizer to what the atmosphere would be like when the Zamboni was cutting the ice after warm-up. Every time the Zamboni went round, there was a big cheer, like I called it the ice hockey Mexican wave. And that was before we saw a player on the ice. And now they're out there, it is so loud up here.
It is. It really, really is.
This is unbelievable. This is louder than last year. Hopefully, this means that the play on the ice is going to be 10 times louder as well. You do not get this at professional games anywhere. No. This is going to be the loudest game in the world this year, surely. This is the biggest, there's one thing I forgot to mention as well. This is the biggest university ice hockey game outside of the two big hockey countries in the world, the USA and Canada. Many people know the NCAA in America. They obviously have a hockey league there as well. Many professional players come from the NCAA. In Canada, they've got youth sports as well. It's a similar situation. A lot of players go there and turn pro. So that's how big of a spectacle this is. This is the biggest in terms of atmosphere, crowd size for play. The biggest university ice hockey match outside of North America. It is a ridiculous statement that goes completely missed a lot of the time.
All it takes is to look in today to see the people that are here, hear the noise. I mean, we're supposed to be able to just hear each other. I can just hear every single fan in this stadium. And you're right, it is the biggest game, and it's just, the energy is incredible. We're getting ready here, we're getting ready to present the Varsity Trophy, and it's still absolutely mental.
I have never experienced a game like this.
Me neither.
I've done a European playoff match early this year in what is the Europa League of hockey, and it was not this loud. And there was when you've got the really passionate sports fans coming over from Poland and France and Latvia and all these big hockey countries and big sports countries that just have this balmy atmosphere.
Yeah.
This is mental.
It is. It's the spectacle of it all. It's the final. You know, we wait for this every year. The tickets sell out immediately. Every single time that we get round to the final of Varsity. It's not just you know, it's never just about the game. It's about the spirit. It's about the universities. It's about all these people that are coming out here now with the flags, representing friends and family.
And if you think the players aren't going to rise to this occasion either, this picks them up. As any sports fan would know, the atmosphere just fuels you. This is, for many of them, the biggest game they'll ever play in their lives. And if you think this isn't waking them up, and if you think they're not going to be ready for this and to play their absolute hearts out, the game of their lives, you are severely, severely mistaken. You don't get many ice hockey games where the fans don't leave their seat. It's common courtesy, but this is different. There's nearly 10,000 people in this building that for the next 2 and a bit hours are not going to put their bum on a seat. It's just going to be 110% constantly. And if the players can play like that as well, we are in for the most ridiculous game in varsity history. It's the 20th anniversary of this magnificent event. And you can tell it's just grown year on year. It's louder than last year. This is probably the loudest it's ever been. And we keep talking about that. Let's look at some players to watch out for. We've mentioned Oxenden, we've mentioned Luke Reed and Will Slozzy. Sam Parkin, 10 games. He's one of the only players that's played every game this university campaign with the Bears A team. In the top division, he's got 16 goals and 13 assists. He's obviously one of those that plays senior hockey in this country. Seb Shalito, I mentioned him, that remarkable coast-to-coast goal that went absolutely balmy viral and raised the roof in here. He's playing again. He spent years playing in the Danish second league as well, so he's got an unprecedented experience that's not been touched on this stage other than last year, when obviously it was him before. Hamish Diedrichs, the New Zealander that has played 2 seasons in the French lower tiers, currently with Wakao in the French 4th division. He's played 14 games this year, and he was one of 2 players that got a goal for Hallam in varsity last year. He got a goal and an assist, so we got a contribution in every goal. He's going to be one to watch out for. We mentioned Rhys Wickens and Finn Wall, but we also got to mention Ben Croter, another Bears A's player. He got an assist as well last year. He's currently playing, well, we'll get back to that in a minute. We've got the national anthem.
Absolutely. Couldn't hear anything. It's just so loud.
Of the ice hockey finale of Sheffield Varsity 2026. I am, well, words can't describe the feeling right now, Max.
No, not at all. We've had a mental start, and we haven't even started the game yet. It's been noisy, it's been rowdy, it's been moving. Everything about this so far has been really, really, really good to see. The energy is here in the crowd. The players are clearly up for it. I mean, we talk about the atmosphere here, and we talk about the energy that those players bring as well, even for the referees. You know, they're playing semi-pro, pro hockey. They're never going to get something quite like this again. Whether they stay here at the university for another few years or go on and pursue careers, this is the pinnacle for them. It's representing their friends, their family, their school, all the people that they know, coming out and having a good time.
Let's get into the starting sixes then. The netminders for University of Sheffield, it's Hayden Oates trying to get back-to-back wins in varsity ones like he did last year. For Hallam, Evan Byron Bates, number 8. He starts in between the pipes for the Sheffield Hallam University. But for the skaters, number 4, Emil Oxenden starts on the blue line. He has number 7, Charlie Saunders, with him on a forward. Luke Reed, looking down. I think we've got 4 forwards starting. We've got Emil Oxenden. Sorry, no, we've got the captain, Josh Humphreys. He also starts on the blue line for your forwards. 24, Will Slossie. Number 7, Charlie Saunders. And number 92, Sam Parkin. For Hallam, their starting skaters. On the blue line, we expect it to be Finn Wall. And then Ben Croter. And for the forwards, we have Andrew Chapman, Kai Janot. And somewhere along here, Adam Broughton. We are moments away then for opening face-off. Catch your breath back, because for the next 2 hours, you're not going to get another chance.
Well, the cheers coming from the fans now. As we're getting ready for the face-off.
Listen to that. That's ridiculous.
It is, and here we go. We're underway with the game.
We're off and away then. Opening face-off goes the favour of the Uniov. They're pressed hard though. Oxenden in the bright distinctive orange for the Sheffield Steel Dogs. Turns it out when he comes back for a neutralise. The Uniov pick up Oxenden, trying to go coast early. He's through all of them. Shot just cuts wide of the net. It's going to be kept in at the blue line. That's by Josh Humphreys. A tip late, but it can't get past Byron Bates, and it's cleared out. And Oxenden, we spoke about his talent, and early on you see the quality there from him. That
was nearly immediate. I mean, if he cut through the entire team, got a fantastic little shot off, that has got to be so threatening for Sheffield Hallam University, especially considering they're coming into this game having lost last year. If University of Sheffield can keep that up, this is going to be a very long day for the Hallam team. But they're bringing it up the ice now.
There was a big hit behind the goal. That's Hallam setting the tone early. Wall takes a shot from range. That sails over the bar of Hayden Oates' goal. Sent back in, but it can't make it in too deep, and it's cleared out by Uniov. Picked back up in his own zone by Eden Hare. He gets his first minutes. Just can't be kept into the blue line. A little bit lazy there from Uniov, and someone's popped a tyre, trying to head to the bench. So Luke Reed tries to break it out through neutral ice. Slossie, it's brilliant, up to Shalito, trying to get it started, save made by Byron Bates. And again, another hit there onto the ball, trying to centre it through one time, and Slossie scores!
University of Sheffield score!
Will Slossie early on, a brilliant feed there by Shalito. And one of the ones to watch, has stretched for twine early here at the Sheffield Arena.
Just 1 minute and 19 seconds into this game. University of Sheffield have come ahead. Lovely little goal there. Moves it up the ice well and just flicks it past the keeper. There is nothing they could have done about that.
Well, that was Justin Dennison. It was number 44, not 24. But he's hit that so fast you couldn't see it, and Dennison wins the draw again, and Uniov setting the tone early. You talk about it a lot in hockey, setting the tone. Now they have there, and there's a lovely hit. Trying to go hard, Shalito. A little bit of frustrations coming off from the Hallam player, but Uniov looking to turn back the other way. Confirmation, Justin Dennison with the goal. And it'll be chipped in and chased by Shalito. Hallam get their sticks down to it first. Matt Ryan, an alumni player for Hallam, a Canadian, so he's got hockey in his blood. Sets it up, he's picked up behind the goal by Hamish Diedrichs. Good to see that he's back from the injury we heard in the week that he had on his hamstring, but he's good to see him out there. That was a missed pass by Matt Ryan. It'll be collected through neutralised by Rhys Wickens. Down the boards. Tried to play out towards Diedrichs, but it couldn't connect, and offside. Go Uniov. Long way over the blue line. It did step over. So for those of you who first time watching, offside, it's not like football where it's last man. The puck has to enter the blue line before any attacking player. So each zone or each side has an attacking blue line. It's the last blue line to the side you're shooting. The puck has to enter that before you do. And as it came out of the blue line, there was a Uniov player down there, got passed straight to him, but he needs to get back over the blue line to be onside. He wasn't, and that's why the face-off comes back down. First shot on goal then for Hallam comes just a little dump from Jacob Sheehan as they pick back up by Oxenden. Straight out there, he's only had a short break. Expect to see a lot of him out there. Across to Humphreys, top line looks to be out then for Uniov. Humphreys brings it forward, kick save made by Byron Bates, and there's a little bit of space to work into, but Hallam just taking a bit too long to make the move, and that's easily tidied up by Oxenden. He's going to turn down at the half boards and look step forward. Hallam a little bit scattered, and Oxenden, we know he's got wheels, we know he's got hands. We saw it straight away early on. He's just going to put the brakes on here and try and build up the play.
He just makes it look so effortless. Easily evading those Sheffield Hallam players.
Now Slossie back out there. Driving forward, great poke check. Slossie's still there. but he can't get the shot away. Behind the goal then. It's with
go.
Parkin. He's got options up high. He does go to Oxenden. He'll just bite one in. That zips wide of the goal and it'll be rimmed round quick to it. It's going to have to be Hallam, who actually get a bit of aid as it can't be kept in by Joe Bark. He's back with Oxenden, moving quickly again, squaring it off. They're going to go top of the face-off circle, glove down, and flashing back nicely was Byron Bates, sensing the urgency that he's needed there to hold on to that and evade the quick oncoming Union pressure.
Absolutely, he's already been facing a lot of pressure from University of Sheffield, obviously already conceded the goal, but it's not just that. He's been facing shot after shot, and you just have to hope that for the rest of this game, his mindset is, I can be better, get better, and we can still get something out of this.
The message from the coach is there's another shot straight off the face-off, a well-crafted play there. The message from the Sheffield Hallam University coaches, Ollie Keeling's their head coach. He's got to be telling the defence to tighten up here, and again, enabling them just to get a shot off the face-off. They can't be doing that. They have to tighten up. They've got to play with a bit more intensity. We've seen Union is starting off strong and playing faster, playing hard, and out in front it's two! Oh, remarkable! We said that they've got to tighten up, and Hallam have completely shut off. Another simple feed out in front. Union capitalise, they make it two.
Again, just a minute and a half after the last goal, University of Sheffield have come forward again, 2-0, just 3 minutes into the first period of this game. And like you say, it's just sloppy. Pops up there, just outside of the goal. Easy flick in, past the keeper, he's left helpless. We've got a game on our hands.
Well, it can only be described as poor defending. We know that Hallam's backs are going to be against the wall here, but there's going to be a little opportunity. They've got to be quick, they've got a brief 2-on-2. Shalito trying to get back, the feed's good, trying to get the shot off, back door! Hallam, bring it back within one! That is how you respond! Max Hurst, quick fire, back door, tucks it in. You said we've got a game on our hands, Max.
Absolutely.
Indeed we do!
They hadn't even shown us the score on the Jumbotron yet, and now Hallam have got their first goal of this game. 2-1, like we said before, game on our hands, get back into it, show that energy, and they have, driving up the ice nearly immediately after conceding, and they've made it count.
Well, if your team has started off slow and your coach is going to be telling you to wake up, if anything's going to wake you up, it's what Max Hurst has just done there. That is ridiculous. We said there was going to be an opportunity. They got the 2-on-2. Shalito couldn't put the pressure on, and this is what Hallam's going to have to do. They're going to have to take their chances quickly. This dump and chase that they're starting to see there isn't entirely going to work, but they are going to really have to get their opportunities. But Union goal confirmed. Will Slozzy now has one, as Oxenden has got a 2-on-1 here. Is he going to pass to Shalito? Puts the brakes on a diving man. Oh, and Oxenden ran over there. And the puck covered up late, and we get a little bit of handbags. I don't think Evan Byron Bates is happy about something. And I don't think the Sheffield Steel Dogs will be too best pleased right before playoffs this weekend if Emil Oxenden gets injured playing varsity.
Absolutely, that was a nasty little drop there. It seems to be all right, he's back on the ice.
Oxenden, he just took too long there. He was able to force the player to dive across, but when you have your head down a bit too much, biding your time, always been a bit too confident, because at the start, Hallam allowed him to have that. And now, Hallam shaping up a little bit better. That's going to happen. You know, you're not always going to get the time in the world, and if Hallam players think Oxford's going to get complacent like that, they will just run you over, and it's completely fine to do so. As you can see, no penalty. We're still playing 5-on-5. Union trying to feed through again into the middle, into the slot position where they've been so dominant. Hallam trying to tidy up. As one of the players has lost his helmet. He'll head to the bench. Oh, it's a poor turnover. 2-on-0. Oh, what a save, Byron Bates. And now here's the handbags. Rule number 1 of hockey, do not touch the goalie. And well, there's a little knock on to Byron Bates. And that's what happened. The goalie's like everyone's little brother, but everyone can take. That's exactly what happened. And now we're getting fine to just get some penalties on the way.
Unlucky there, just catch the goalie, out the players, straight to the defence.
Well, I don't believe a penalty has been called.
Right now, I think we're just going straight back to the face-off.
So Union have lost control of the zone there then because the referee's going to say that they started that altercation. So the way they'll be penalised is they at least lose the zone, so we have to get back on side. But with how much space is there on the far side off the face-off, they're easily going to get it again. Little chip and chase, pick back up though. by Ben Croter. Caught upon the balls, but now it's lovely work from the centre to cut through into the wing. That's batted down. Few protests for a high stick, nothing given. And that's not going to be an icing. Luke Reed looked to have played that just behind the red line, but the linesman wavered off and will get things going again. That's a poor touch on the board, stick in the air there for Ben Lant. A little basic skill that's just gone away from him, and Uniov trying to build a pressure on. Luke Reed makes the same mistake, running down the wing. We're powering on. Oh, it's Tornan. Hallam to tie it. Oh, Overton with a remarkable save. Just got a tip onto it from his glove. Pushed it aside, and realistically in that position it should be 2-2. Back the other way, it's Sam Parkin. He'll go from range off the side netting. A few Uniov fans from behind the goal went up there, thought that was in. Oxenden trying to make it free. His shot gets blocked along the way. That's by Jacob Sheehan. And now Uniov are going to have to get back on the defensive. A little chip in there from Ben Lant, and he'll curl away and get a change. Uniov out their own zone. To Saunders. He'll just backhand that down. Easily pushed away though by the Hallam D. And Andrew Chapman again, a little shot towards Oates, quickly swiped away. Hallam just overcommitting there, and they could be falling to an odd man rush here. Here's Saunders, he's got Sam Parkin on his inside. Sticked away though by Byron Bates, smartly done by the Hallam netminder. That chip up the boards doesn't work, and Sam Parkin's going to be first to it in the corner. Got to be careful though, as Matt Ryan was trying to go shoulder to shoulder with him, but he smartly got it round into the opposite corner. But there's not a man dropping behind to keep the possession rolling. Humphreys, he's a big man. He's just been pushed off a little bit though by Kai Genoa. That forces a pass away. Genoa's going to get a little look in here, but that pass just miles away. And Oxenden, little pump fake on the edges. He'll have his head up here. He's looking to see where he can start pushing forward. Oh, it's a lovely pass forward. Josh Fall, there's a shot away and a save by Byron Bates. Unfortunately for Hallam, that clears up. And that's just going to be offside. Smartly done by Shalito. Didn't touch the puck there, as he noticed his left winger was still trying to get back on side, but Hallam, in the past few moments, haven't connected good passes here. It has been poor, and it's given Uniov his chance, and I said equality, although backdoor chance there, and Oates again makes a save. Diedrichs can't get it out of the skates behind. He's got Oxenden to contend with as well. Coming up to the point, big one-timer wound up. That's blocked along its path, though. Good stick in, can't get past Shalito again, and just slow to react to things here are the Hallam players, and this is where the experience of Uniov at that senior level is going to benefit them. But offside go Uniov. Just try and settle it down here.
Absolutely. Unlucky turn of play there for Uniov. Really good in transition there. Lovely turn from Shalito, but just couldn't get it right at the end. Just got offside. Switch over for both sides now. It looks like we're going to get started up.
Yeah, so it's going to be, I'm going to say, that was an intentional offside, or not what would be deemed as intentional, but they'd gone over 3 seconds, so we have to come back in towards the offending team zone. Again, it's those little punishments. That's off the stick, still in play though. Holborn, lovely work on his edges, just poked away by Land, trying to keep the offensive zone for his side going, and he can do. He's pushed wide, and again, Hallam are just so slow to push over the blue line, although McNeil has a chance here, goes from a tight angle. He misses by a mile. Picked up by Matt Ryan on the blue line. He'll feed it through traffic. Oates never sees that and trying to stretch it forward. This should go for icing, although it's going to be waved off as first to it, actually. I believe Luke Reed's gone a long way back. Zlossi tries sending one in. That's deflected off the leg of Ollie Holburn's. His own teammates sending that into the far corner, and now Hallam with a bit of space. The pass across to the left winger was there, but they went to the bench, and now they're going to go try and force into the zone. Hallam will turn away and come for a change again. So then, stepping forward, Will Zlossi. Holborn, oh, it's a poor poke check again, missed by Finn Wall. One of those senior players are going to have to rely on. Oxenden gets his feet moving again. That's a better poke check, and Uniov going to have to come back out. Oxenden.
Just biding his time.
To Humphreys. Got options out wide. They'll go down to the left wing. I believe that's Sam Parkins scanning around, trying to feed it from tight angle. The rebounds there. And a brilliant block by the Hallam Demon. Still pushing forward. Backhand wide from Parkin. Now Slozzy. Little pump fake. Saunders is there. Brilliant feed to Slozzy. The referee just gets him caught up. And so there's some words towards him. The puck, is he going to make it for icing? Starts to plug. Oh, we're going to get a whistle. It does make it. Oxenden doing just enough. We're going to go back towards the Hallam zone. Now, an icing. Here again, we mentioned offside. if it crosses this, if you play the puck behind the centre line and it makes all the way to the goal line without being touched, and you have to make a decent effort towards to get it. But the rules there to just stop you playing a bit of a rugby kicking game, dumping it, and Hallam played it in their own zone. They went all the way down the ice. It'll be called back in towards their zone. Quick shot chance there for Shalito. That falls off his stick though. Hallam just not responding, picking up man-to-man off the draw. And there's a chance out in front. Oh, and it's free. Textbook stuff. Rinse and repeat for Union. They've got their third.
They have. Just again, nearly halfway through the first period. Sloppy defending there from Hallam. Not quite good enough to pick up Shalito, who just gets the straight puck. Flicks it to his man there, just on the edge. And it's another easy goal for University of Sheffield.
All 3 University of Sheffield goals have come in that slot area. 2 of them have been fed from behind the goal. The first one came from a feed from the half-board. We said that Hallam have shut off. They've been slow to pick up bodies. They've been lazy. There's a prime example. The D are just so... no offence, but they're asleep. It's too easy for them. In that position, you should be hard to the body, should not make it that easy, and yet they are. And they're going to try it again, and nearly getting a deflection. You've got to get yourself in front. You've got to take the stick away from the play, and they're just falling short of it. Shalito's going to wind up with it fall loosely. Rebounds there, and no Hallam player wants to pick it up. Now,
just struggling to pick it
finally
up.
clear it out. But muscled off the puck this time. Again, I often mention in games that the team that does the little things right, the team that's more consistent about doing those marginal things, do better. There's going to be another chance here. Slozzy just lets that fall off his stick. But Hallam right now aren't doing the big things right.
No.
Like basic defending is catching them short. Last year they showed real grit. Right now they are struggling. Yeah. Max Hurst got them the response they needed, but at this point they're back to a 2-goal gap. And there's a coming together, but there's no one moving forward. They're still going to get well, they shouldn't have got their shot away. They didn't in the end, but it was a 2-on-4. It's a poor pass there from Union, and Hallam will get a chance to settle it back down again. But these passes, they're just trying to force it right now. They need to start going back to the basics, simplify it. And now they're going to get a 3-on-3 entering the zone. Finn Wall, he'll shoot from range. Top of the face-off circles. And Oates pushes that aside. There's a little hold there, and we are going to get the first penalty of the game. The referee's arm goes straight up. He signals the holding. Down in the corner. It's number 76, Lewis Miles. The Hallam player had beat him. So to try and get one back, he grabbed his arm, turned him around every day of the week. The referee senior, you're getting called. And first power play of the game couldn't come at a better time for Hallam. We're over halfway through this first period. 3 periods of 20 minutes. And this Hallam have a prime opportunity now with the extra player on the ice for 2 minutes to get that goal back and give them some momentum.
Definitely. I mean, we talked about getting the little things right, getting the timing right. This is that opportunity. You've got 2 minutes here where you can get a bit of control and just try and get at least, some chances back, get some momentum going. It's not going to be easy, but if they want to come back from this, they're going to have to show that grit, like you said.
Well, offside went offside went Hallam briefly, and they had to get themselves back over the blue line, and there was no urgency to do it. Oxenden was able to kill about 10 seconds there, and now we're going to get an odd man rush on a penalty kill. Oxenden, 3-on-2 for Union. Drop pass, trying to make it 4, save made by Byron Bates. Oh, and the rebound's in. You couldn't write it. That is so poor. How are you letting them get an odd man rush on the power play? Hallam deserve every bit to concede there. It's slow, it's lazy, it's lackluster, and they deserve the scoreline they've got right now.
You look at that drive from Oxenden down the middle there. You've got 2 Hallam players behind him, not even picking him up, not doing anything to help out their defenders. They have a numerical advantage. That's sloppy defending.
First rule on the power play: when you lose the puck, you are instantly back, trying to get it back. 2 players on them, you hustle hard. You went offside, you need quick skating, you've got only 2 minutes of the man advantage. Everything has to be quick. 2 players on, you outnumber them on everything. Oh, what did they do? They bided their time, didn't get possession back, leads to a 3-on-2. The biggest thing has been, so far, however, the defending's been poor. And they've got some good attacking players. We've seen Max Hurst, a brilliant play that he started, then got the goal. But they're not able to get the chances up forward because of the defending. They have to win it, pull back. There's going to be a chance here, though. Croter just sending it over the bar. There's a wayward pass behind the goal, and again, straight out. Oh, it's lovely work kept in by Croter. trying to get past his man, he'll at least chip it past Saunders. But only one person going in on a forecheck, and it's easily cleared out. And again, there, you need to be forechecking more aggressively, outnumbering the Unioff player in possession. Use the extra skater you have on the ice, and Hallam just didn't. Now they'll try and turn it up the ice. Slow pushing forward. It's a 1v3 right now for Finn Wall. He's been all over it in the past few minutes. Gets the turnover across towards Matt Ryan. He can't keep it in, but a good bit of urgency and a good sign there. Few of these Hallam players really showing what they can actually do. So round up by Ryan. That's actually spilt poorly, and Oxenden nearly knocks it in. And there's the urgency. Diedrichs and Ryan jumping on Oxenden. If the puck can be turned over here by Diedrichs, there might be a chance. And they've got a penalty coming in the end, a tripping call against Hallam. We'll see who's going to the box. I think Oxenden's won that one. And we're going to go, well, right on cue, actually. We're not going to get a bit of 4-on-4 action, which would almost definitely favour Unioff. They're going to get 5-on-4 instead, as Lewis Miles is just out the box.
Yep, and we're seeing University of Sheffield line up there, and you know, that was Hallam's chance. That was their advantage there, is to take the time, look at where you've got a free player, and they've not made the most of it. And now, say the scales flip, they were in University of Sheffield's favour anyway, clearly, because they conceded anyway.
Shalito sends one in, and as you were saying, Oxenden's going to get this across. Just closed down, the back door's fair, that misses. A smart play there, Unioff trying to exploit these gaps. And actually, if Hallam were to score, it would be a 3-2 game. And instead of conceding, it's 4-1. It's a completely different picture. And it could be 5-1 here, and we're not even looking at the depth yet of this opening period. Oxenden biding his time across to Shalito, just getting something off. That was Byron Bates leaving his leg out nicely. Oxenden picks it up back at the half board. Just going to cut across the top of the zone. Ever patient. He'll send one looking for a tip. If a tip was there, the rebound can't be put in though. Slozzy had actually connected with that too much. Lovely glove down though by Shalito. Oxenden looking to move it quickly. A little bit of hesitation. Nicely closed down. There's a gap for Shalito though. And that's just been tipped over the bar and out of play. Well, Evan Byron Bates, you can't fault him right now. He's been hung out to dry in this first period. For team talk, if I'm Ollie Keeling, straight away is the defence has been poor.
It has.
And Byron Bates has bailed them out more times than he should have right now.
And even then, even as he keeps trying to bail them out, it's just not enough. We would, you know, their heads are dropping. It looks like they're low on effort, and now they're having to play this frantic, panicked game while they wait for that that numerical advantage to balance out.
It's unsynergised, it's messy, it's uncoordinated, and we spoke so much about the atmosphere in here. This is now where Hallam need to pick up their players. They need to get behind them and inject some life into their team. Although the puck was loose fair, and no one closes down number 91, Josh Fall. He was just able to get it through. That could have been a one-on-0 there, an odd man rush going the other way for Hallam getting a short-handed chance. But instead, a lack of urgency, a bit of indecision. Josh Fall was able to collect it. Now it's been cleared out, but there was a good opportunity there again where Hallam could have just jumped on it and had a crack, put Unioff under a bit of pressure. Because that's what, they've not other than Max Hurst's goal, they've not been under any pressure at all. They're currently just able to control it. And for me, in this situation, if I'm a coach as well, just throw a hit or two. Don't be afraid to get physical. It throws players off their game. And they're not throwing a body about either. And I know they can't do it necessarily right now on the penalty kill. Well, there's an opportunity there. And that probably should have been called. It's not. Nearly a response came out. We're back to 5-on-5. Still not out of it yet, though, Hallam. And now Byron Bates responds. And now a little bit of pushing and shoving right on cue. That's what Hallam need to do. Because it doesn't matter how good you are as a player. If this little bit of rust, a little bit of physicality can put you off your game, you can exploit a gap, you can get back into it. You just need to start using a bit of psychological warfare, in a little cross check, a little slash, nothing that's going to get you called, but something, a little niggle, a little chirp, something that gets in the head. That's what Hallam need to do. And right now, they're just, riding into the balls there. Matt Ryan, he's stepped up big time so far in this first period. He's been one of the only Hallam players to not be afraid of physicality, and that's brilliant, picking up Shalito in the middle and cutting him off. And now Hallam come through, neutralised. They've got strength in numbers with a great poke check by Noah Owen, the German. Stops Hallam getting into the zone. It'll be brought back in, though, and nearly ridden then was Matt Ryan getting a bit of revenge. Finn Wall trying to dance his hands around. Diedrichs has popped the tyre. Still getting the zone, though, so we dumped on net. Oates has completely missed that. Bit of a cheese grater moment for him, but Hallam no aggression, easily able to be picked up and brought in by Will Slozzy. That's pushed away by Byron Bates. Croter receives a hit from one of his former teammates as a Sheffield junior. It's cleared out. Oxenden can't keep it at the blue line, and now Hallam have to put the offensive on, try and get a turnover as Uniov are getting themselves back on side. Can't happen. Oxenden gets cut off down the road. Wall can't take it off him, and Oxenden cuts it through again. Through one, great stick lift by Wall. And that forces the puck out into the corner. He then flukes on that one. A brilliant stick again, though. Finds Shalito. Gets the edges moving. That's tied it up. Shalito trips, no call made. Diedrichs onto Oxenden. Dances round him. Two bodies on him. Finn Wall coming in to assist. He pushes Van up the board. Shalito, though, back upon his feet. Picks up. Across the top of the zone. Lovely move, cuts through two. Just rising, that shot up a bit too much, and he gets a bit of a field goal there, although it doesn't count for anything in hockey. Down the boards, too far away from Diedrichs. Oxenden again. Finds a teammate. That was an awkward bounce off the linesman, but at least he's found a black and gold jersey. That's turned back away. Finn Wall buying his time, but Humphreys wastes no energy on dealing with a shenanigans. Pokes that away, can't clear the zone, winding up. And it's, oh, the rebounds, it's not, that looked in from here, it's covered up, but that looked to go in. We've got a brilliant view of the third of the ice, Hallam's attacking. Would love to see a replay of that. But that started off, Eden Hare wound up from the left side point, got a little deflection, that's not the angle we want on the big screen.
We'll need the replay there. Like you say, from our angle, I could have sworn that had flicked in.
Oh,
and it's just off the post. Oh,
this is the one we're going to want to see. No, it is off the post. Great call by the referee.
That is got to be heartbreaking for Hallam. That's a really good opportunity. They've looked like a lot more of themselves last few minutes. Something like that.
This has been a better response. The momentum from the kill has certainly helped them, but Slozzy's trying to ruin that, trying to feed it through. That's off the post, off a deflection off one of the Hallam players' leg pads. Back with Slozzy, trying to feed it through again. Saunders gets pushed harder, a bit more of an aggressive stick, but that's go higher this time, and that's swiped away, just out of reach though, from the lengthy, I believe that was Matt Ryan again, trying to get his stick out there, although left alone on the far left side. Byron Bates just gets something onto it late, and we'll get a push, bit of handbags again, and the
crowd's getting warmed up now.
Go up once more.
They're hoping for blood, but the referees managed to break it up. Looking like we'll not be seeing any of that just yet. But just, again, more threatening from University of Sheffield. They just look so much more on top of it. Every time they get in front of goal, they look so much more composed. And Hallam looks scared to kind of meet them, to try and go out and just get in front of them, get between the goal. Like you say, get physical.
Hallam, normally I'll say, in this situation, they can just get one back. They'll go into the break. With the momentum will help. They just need to see this out without conceding. And that was, again, straight out to Sam Park in this face-off tactic from Michael Slozzy. It's just worked out perfectly. There needs to be more urgency, closing down the footman, getting man-to-man, and stopping these shots off the draw. Give Byron Bates a bit of coverage. But Hallam needs to see the next 2 minutes and 22 seconds out without conceding. Just get to the dressing room as quick as you can. The players are begging for it. Byron Bates is begging for it. Sure, the coaches, they need to reset. And in hockey, anything can happen. They're not out of it yet, but they need that break desperately, and they need to shake back up. They need to get some good defence going, and, well, it was nearly an attempt to claim out. The rebound's out, and they've just left them two all alone. What a save, Byron Bates. That was off the line.
And there's a scramble at the goal line here. Looks like some players beginning to face off.
And again, Byron Bates, remarkable, he swiped it off the goal line. And how's that happened? Well, the two last plays before Byron Bates were both Uniov players. Hallam's gone too aggressive, the defence has shut off, and it's all four of their goals have come from poor defensive errors. That should be a fifth, and that's probably, you know, Uniov getting one back for Hallam not getting one down at the other end off the post. But look, off the goal line, Byron Bates, that is remarkable.
That's an incredible save to just, you know, it's such pure reflex. Just look down, swipe it away, no matter what's going on. You know, he's surrounded by players. He's got Hallam guys trying to get in there, University players trying to get that ball in, that puck in. Doesn't matter. Still swipes it out, and now Hallam have power play once again.
Words can't describe how you could, at least how you can make the same mistake so often. And this should be icing. You've got to be quick though. Well, coming out to play it because Byron Bates, because Saunders was moving rather quickly. And I think the Hallam defenseman kind of resigned. I was not winning that race.
So Reese Wickens is going to dump that in over the blue line. Oxen's going to be first to it. And Hamish Diedrichs is going to have an absolute challenge on his hands here. Nearly tripped up the Sheffield Steel Dogs man. And he'll be cleared out by the man with the orange bucket and gloves. Won't be an icing as very slow to it is Croter. That urgency again, not going their way. Could have had an offensive zone face-off. Instead, they've got to try and get it back in, which they've just been struggling to do. Ryan goes down the line, but Max Hurst can't get any ground. Now he'll get over and onside, trying to get his second points of the night. The man who got the lone Hallam goal just 4 minutes into the game in a response to make it 2-1. Croter from range, misses by a mile. This is going to be a race to keep this in, and it won't do. It flies out the zone, and now Croter's going to have to step up and defend against Saunders nicely. And a big hit there. Saunders didn't like that. Parkin's going to pick that up. The Sheffield Titans man sits Matt Ryan down, and we're into the final 60 seconds. Hallam forward again with Diedrichs. Waiting for assistance. He's got a man in the middle there. That's Reese Wickens. Can he feed it towards him? Just bodies. Uniov collapsing nicely. Chalito goes toe-to-toe with the New Zealander. Assist coming from Finwall. That helps out the Hallam forwards down on the boards. Hard into the corner. Arm stays down. Maybe an argument there for a boarding call on Reese Wickens. Not given. And Uniov bring it out. A one-on-one. Parkin gets it off the block, and Chalito tries to bat that right out the air. That could have been a holding call down there as well, but instead we'll turn the other way with Hallam. Moving with a bit of pace here. Shot from a tight angle there from Finwall. Zips wide, and it should be brought back in by Union. So the Hallam offside, don't have to worry about that. Nearly a knee-on-knee. Hallam, a bit of urgency. They want one here late. Final 10 seconds of the opening period here out of the ice hockey finale. Need a shot quick. They're not going to get one here, surely. Got to feed it, move quickly. Are they going to get it? No, they're not. Claxon's going to go 20 minutes down. And the story is, it's a Union dominance. And that is poor from Hallam defensively. That is the story. 20 minutes gone. For Sheffield Hallam, they're down 4 goals to 1. Union looking to make it back-to-back years right now. What needs to change for Hallam?
They need to, well, for starters, like we said, they need to get some organisation. They need to get some organisation. They need to start fighting more. I mean, this is nearly a full-time score. You know, they could be doing a lot more. And really what I think they just need to do is they need to go in and they need to just say, hey, you know, what have we got to lose now? Just go out there, give it our all, try and give them something to fight for. You've got these fans here packed out. We've still got 40 minutes of hockey left to play. This is where things get serious for them. I think now we're going to go back. Now we're going back to our punditry, and we will see you for the second period.
Well, that is the end of the first period. Score is 4-1 to Uniov. Atmosphere's been electric, just as it was at the start. And Hallam is starting to warm into the game a little bit towards the end. I'd say Uniov have done most of the attacking. Hallam's starting to just any chance that they get is kind of just a long shot, really. Would you agree, Dylan?
You can't take 15, 20 minutes to grow into an ice hockey game. Slow starts are acceptable. But 20 minutes, you know, you're wasting a full period just to get into your groove. And I said on the commentary, all 4 goals are poor defensive errors. 3 of them were just simple feeds into the slot. How do you take that away? You go a bit more aggressive on my body. You lift the stick. You press the man with the puck. You don't. Then Hallam know they're the underdogs in this. And you do not let an underdog have that much time on the puck. They're just letting them control it. It's like it's the University of Sheffield's birthday and they're going easy on them. Or it's like your little brother in the park, mum's told you to bring along and you can't hurt them too much. That's how Hallam are playing right now. You can't do that. When you're the underdogs especially, if I'm Ollie Keeley in that dressing room right now, the first message I'm saying is my 8 defensemen are all getting a talking to. Because a short-handed goal as well, said to Max, it could get the goal on a power play, it could be 3-2, but instead they concede short-handed. It's 4-1. There are no excuses. I know on paper the Union team is going to be better, but you can still put out a better fight than that.
Obviously, after the first third, it seems to be going the way we thought it would. Do you think, in the next 2 sections, do you think that there's any chance that Hallam will bring it back, or do you think it's looking like a Union onslaught?
Look, 20 minutes have gone. whatever's happened there, you have to forget about it now. You acknowledge your mistakes, you go, this is where I need to be better. And you come out, you go with the mentality, it's 0-0. And you need to look to the players that you know are going to step up for you. Matt Ryan, for Hallam there, number 22, every shift, 110%. He was throwing the hits, he was getting the rushes. Max Hurst as well. Hamish Diedrichs at the end, he was growing into his game. You can tell he's got a goal here.
This game is calling out for a player, especially on the Hallam side, to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and take control, especially when you're 4-1 down after 20 minutes. That's what it's calling out for, right?
Yeah, and I already mentioned Matt Ryan on the blue line. He's throwing big hits. He's not afraid to get the physical stuff out. And that's one thing you need from a defenseman. Hamish Diedrichs, the final 10 minutes of that period, the second half of it, he started growing into it. He's 6'6". He's a big body, that New Zealander. And New Zealanders, they have no fear in their blood down there. So he needs to. He was showing it. He's taking on Emil Oxenden. Oxenden at the start had it too comfy, and Diedrichs knows I've got to get to him, body to body, make it tough, and he absolutely did. And it's those two players, I think, and Max Hurst as well. Credit to him, he got the goal, and it was a great response after the second one. Me and Max were looking at each other going, Hallam have just woken up, it's fine. And then they never grew on it. When you get an opportunity like that, you've got to grow. You've got to take the momentum. And they went back to playing slow, a lack of urgency. And I don't think Uniov were particularly spectacular. Hayden Oates made a few errors. The passing wasn't the most accurate. They are beatable.
He's pouncing on the mistakes, right?
Yes.
Like, I feel like in a game like this, when your opposition makes those mistakes, he's pouncing on it, utilising it, make it your point to go and score then after that.
Yeah, I would just say it's urgency. You need to be urgent. First to everything. Don't be afraid to take that chance. There was obviously a moment on the Uniov power play where the puck falls loose, goes towards the blue line. There are three sitting high for Uniov. Yeah. And one of the Hallam forwards could have just got a stick and cleared it. And instead he goes, oh yeah, then I'll go. That point, it's picked back up by Shalito. And he's a dangerous player. You don't want to give him time on the puck. And that was an opportunity, you can at least clear it, but it gives yourself a bit of time. You might be looking at, you can get a short-handed goal back. There are these opportunities, and they're not taking the chances that Uniov are giving them right now. Hallam need to be more urgent, quicker decision-making, and just tighter at the back.
I was about to say, you know, I'm not someone who knows a whole lot about ice hockey, but Morgan Shalito, watching him skate around that rink, he's been absolutely unbelievable. Who's your standout performer so far?
Well, obviously Emil Oxenden. First player of the game, tries to go coast to coast. Standout player though for me, Evan Byron Bates in the Hallam goal, standing on his head. He's conceded 4, but...
And it's still been a hell of a performance as well.
Yeah, right, then he cleared one off the line. You know, he's standing tall, he'll be thinking, my defence need to give me a hand here. And being under that much pressure and still making some of the saves he has, you know, for me, that's one of my standouts. But as well, Sam Parkin's had a good few looks. You mentioned Shalito, his edge work is, other than Emil Oxenden, there's probably no one with better edge work and skating ability than him. And that's how you see him cut through Hallam so easily, just turning the body, just using his skating ability so well to beat the players time and time again.
Do you think there's a little bit of danger here that Uniov could maybe get a little bit complacent?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, we've still got 40 minutes of gameplay left, right? And they're probably sat in their locker room now thinking, not necessarily thinking the job's done. I'm not saying that at all. But there is a real danger of complacency here, right? Especially after that lacklustre performance from Hallam in those opening 20 minutes.
Look, the goal that Hallam got, Hayden Oates was slow to go post to post. There was another one that was just off the post. So for me, that's beat the netminder, it's just not gone in. He had one where he went to glove it and it went miles away. And that also comes from, he's going to be quite cold in the sense of he's not seen many shots. So he's a netminder that's not at 100% yet either. So a couple of chances for Hallam, they can get past him. We saw, obviously, Uniov got 2 goals in the space of 3 minutes. And then Hallam got one right back. This shows goals to just go bang, bang, bang.
How quickly the game can change, right?
If Hallam gets a bit of luck, gets a couple like Uniov did, they're right back in this game. And especially if Uniov get complacent, it certainly can happen. And the most frustrating thing, I think, for all the Hallam fans here, yes, they are the underdogs, but they do have a good team, and they are just downplaying themselves right now.
I would agree. sort of opportunity now where a good coach comes into play, right? You know, if you're 4-1 down after that first period, what sort of things are you expecting Hallam's coach to be kind of letting his team know right now?
You've got to, I said you've got to be sharper at the back. The defence has not been great. You've got to be sharper at the back, but you've got to play for each other as well. You know, you see your teammate get hit out there, return the favour. Don't let yourselves get bullied, and thankfully they haven't yet. But if that's something you and Yov go to, like, well, this period we'll go to that. We'll start trying to bully them a bit. You know, we've already bullied them on the scoreboard. We'll bully them on the ice, and if that happens, you need to start picking up and playing for each other, being quick with each other. You get a player gets the puck moving forward, gets a bit of space, go with him. Hallam have been so slow to push forward and give some assistance on the attacking side of it, where there'll be 1 or 2 Hallam players, and Uniov have got back and have got all 5 of them there. So it's just, they need to start playing for each other. And it's obviously not just about sticking up for each other, but when you get a guy moving forward, go with him, give him a hand. A little drop pass, a shot from range takes a deflection, and a lucky bounce goes your way. You've got a goal.
Obviously, looking at Uniov as well, by no means have they been perfect. What do you think their coach is telling them at half-time?
Keep doing what you're doing. The face-offs have been remarkable. Yeah. You know, when I said again on the commentary, the team that does the little things right tends to come out on top. One of those things is consistent on the face-offs. But they've not only been consistent, they've been winning the face-offs, but they've been winning them in dominant positions. How many times has a puck come out to Sam Parkin in a central lane just to get a quick snapshot away on towards the goal? Now, not one of them has gone in yet, but part of that comes down to, obviously, Hallam have been so slow closing them down off that, but bits like that, keep working at it. Stuff like that, you play with a high intensity, because as well, you're not biding your time off the face-off. You win the draw, you get the shot away, that level of intensity will grind them down. So if I'm Michael Zlossi, I'm telling him, keep the intensity, keep what you're doing. The heads are already dropped.
And I think it's interesting to the transitions as well, because Uniov seem to move so quickly up to be able to be in those attacking positions, whereas they go as a team, they go in as a unit.
Again, it's that urgency. You see it, they already look defeated, Hallam, and that's, and Ollie Keeling's got to try and tell them, you're back in this game, give them, you know, almost like a coaching defibrillator, bring them back to life, find something that will do it, because right now, again, the little things, being more urgent, first to everything, Uniov are first to absolutely everything. Yeah. And this is why Hallam are struggling to get themselves out of their zone, struggling to move it forward. And then when they go, you know, they can have 2-3 minutes stuck in their third of the ice, we go, oh, but you can get this out there. And they rush the pass, and it's rinse and repeat. They
seem to get stuck when they get closer to the net.
Yeah, massively. But that also comes from, again, the lack of urgency. Your players pushing up. You know, you've got one player trying to do it all on their own. And sometimes, in all fairness to Hallam, when you've been stuck in your own zone for such a long time, you need to then get a change. So the puck comes out, your first job is, well, we'll go get a change. But then when Uniov sit in the offensive third for so long, they can just cycle one player at a time and just hold on to the puck and individually get a full line change out there before Hallam have got even thought about it. So then Uniov have fresh legs out there, Hallam are just changing, and then you square off a pass down to the far side, away from the benches, and you're back in again. And it's a terrible cycle that Hallam, if they are a bit more quicker to the loose puck, tighten up at the back, they'll limit how long they're on the back foot, and they can speed the game a bit, and they'll start to feel more comfortable as well. And then your confidence grows, and then your star players like Hamish Diedrichs and Matt Ryan and Max Hurst can start to shine.
Definitely, and I think up until this point, we spoke on it briefly, Uniov seemed to be in control. Seemed to be in control of the match in wherever in the rink they are. You know, at what point does that change?
I'll be honest, I don't think Uniov have even got out of second gear either. Uniov have by no means been perfect. They've been good, but they can get better.
It's capitalising on Hallam's mistakes, right?
Massively, massively. So Uniov will be forced to step up a gear if Hallam respond, but right now they can cruise to victory here if Hallam don't. And I do expect Hallam, well, the captain's going to be out there, they're going to be giving them something. Ben Croter, he's going to be picking them up. Reese Wickens, Diedrichs, Holly Neelan, she's not a quiet person by any means. I don't think she's seen the ice yet, but she'll be picking her teammates up. and you can spur them on, they respond quickly. Try and force make Uni, even if there's 2-3 minutes where Union feel uncomfortable, that will spur some life into Hallam.
Yeah. Well, the first third has been, full of action. And, I mean, Hallam do look down and out as it stands, but you never know in this game. You never know. But
still 40 minutes to play, right?
Exactly.
Hockey ice hockey is a magical sport. Like I said earlier, we got 3 goals in 4 minutes. I know it was a 2-1, but obviously Union got too quick, and Hallam then responded like 20 seconds later. That's what can happen in hockey.
And it's how quickly the tables turn. It's like when we went to 2-1, and then Hallam had that. It looked like they were back in it. Union got the other end and they scored, and it almost cancels that momentum out. They had no chance to build on that momentum when they did score.
Yeah, exactly. And that was probably Hallam's biggest downfall. They did not build upon the momentum they got from Max Hurst's goal. They let Union just get back into the swing of things.
Just proves that you are the most vulnerable after conceding.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the case for any sport, and that was so present there on show.
Yeah, so for me, I'd say that partially comes down to a mentality thing. And the best thing for the mentality that they can do right now, 0-0. Fresh. And if they may not win the game, but even if they end up, obviously, we've seen the famous quote from a certain Tottenham hater recently, you drew the second half. If Hallam can win the next 40 minutes on paper, right, even if it's 2-0, 2-1, they can go for 40 minutes, we were the better side. In hindsight, if we were better in the first period, we'd be in this. But there are positives to take away from this. But even if they are the better team in this period, even a 1-0 period for Hallam, right, if they can just score 1 goal and shut out Union will start getting frustrated, then he can build back into it.
Oh, definitely. It's just, I think pulling that frustration away from Hallam and onto Union would make such a big difference. And I think also with the atmosphere as well. But we are getting our signal now to wrap it up.
Dylan,
2 minutes.
I think you're due back in your commentary
I've got to go. I'll see you boys in the next break.
See you at the next break.
Oh yeah, you'll be hearing Dylan's voice very, very shortly. Players are just about to come back onto the rink, so we'll catch you after the second period, going in at the scores 4-1 to Union.
Period of Sheffield's Varsity 2026. Been a great first period so far. A lot to play for still. Never know what could happen in 40 more minutes of hockey.
Look, I know I've just spent a good 10 minutes saying how poor Hallam have been, but I will never say a team is out of a game after 20 minutes. I think the most frustrating thing is there is talent on this Hallam team, and they've just not got out of bed yet. And that, if they can wake up, switch on, well, anything can happen. This is hockey. 3 goals can come in the space of a minute. Hallam could literally tie this game in 60 seconds. That's how hockey can go. I'm not saying they're going to do that, but that's one of the things. You're not going to get that in football, but it can happen in hockey. Yeah. It's one of those things. They need to just fresh start, 0-0, heads up, play for each other. They can easily get themselves back into this. Absolutely. There was positive signs, right? Positive signs, and more build upon them. It will go. You can get yourselves back into this.
They really can. We've still got the majority of this game left to play, and so far the problems that we've been seeing, they're not about ability. It's about attitude. It's about getting into it. All that it takes is for them to go in and for them to come back with knowing exactly what they need to do. And I think they should do. I think if the coach has told them anything, if Ollie Keeling has told them anything, it's to just, like you say, play for each other, play for the game. Still got 40 minutes left.
It's 0-0. Scrap it, 0-0. I love the mentality. We'll go out and do to them what they've just done to us.
Exactly.
I know it's easier said than done, but a lot of sport is a mental game rather than a physical game, right? If Hallam step out onto the ice and go, we've lost this, well, they've lost the game. If they go out there and go, we can win this is no way near done, right? They can do this. But the biggest thing, I think, a must, for me, it's an absolute must.
Hallam need the next goal.
They do.
If Uniov get the next goal, already we're starting putting nails in the coffin, because it's more about momentum rather than the actual score.
Yes, absolutely. They need to shift the momentum in their favour. They need to try and get things going. An early goal here, 4-2, that sets you up for the rest of the game.
4-2 is such a beatable score.
Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is.
14 minutes is a long time in hockey. And again, we stop the clock. You are playing a full 40 minutes. But it's not like some sports where the ball's not out, where the ball's out of play and the clock still ticks down. You're not getting 12 minutes of the ball in play like in American football for 40 minutes in play of association football. My favourite thing in hockey has to be we play a full 6 minutes. We advertise the game as 60 minutes, you're getting 60 minutes. And it has been a good 60 minutes. And Hallam showed signs. There was some, really good positive signs. And I think they would probably have an extra goal if on some of these attacking plays, they just had that extra player up with them. That defensively, they need to tighten up. Offensively, they need to be more urgent and getting bodies up to support. If they can do that, they're not out of this yet.
Absolutely. You would hope that team talk has woken them up a bit. They're getting into the spirit of the game. Like you say, it's 0-0. Let's play for the fans, play for each other. Let's see what we can get away with. And right now, I think that all they want, like you say, they just want that first goal. And for the Uni of Sheffield, it's about not coasting. It's about ensuring the momentum doesn't swing, not getting complacent and not saying, hey, okay, we're 4-1 up now. Now it's time to, just let the game happen. They need to stay on the front foot if they want to keep this in. Really, the game will be decided in probably these first 5 minutes. We'll see where that momentum goes. And if Hallam get a look, you could very much see them coming back there.
If Hallam, you'll see by their body language how they start, how this game is going to go. And I think we're just having a little issue with the ice right now. Obviously, straight on after it just being cut, so we'll get some of the wonderful arena staff, the amazing ice techs. People don't realise how much a challenge it is to build an ice rink and pad stuff like this. It is a work of art. People really do take some ridiculous pride in it. It's one of those, and a lot of people do it just as a hobby as well. There are some things that a lot of people might think is a little daft. Some people like train spotting. A very artsy thing. Some people's art though is building ice rinks for hockey and figure skating and speed skating, and we're just trying to clear out some of the excess water whilst we wait for it to freeze. You see the linesmen throwing the pucks around. We're not just doing back to the board, we're doing that to see how the puck travels. And when we get the whistle, we're ready to get back underway. See the top line's out there straight away for Union. You can see just Emil Oxen in his distinctive Sheffield Steel Dogs gear with the orange helmet and orange gloves. He was absolutely impeccable. I think we're ready to get going, but the whistle is going to go. The players are going to be called back in. Finn Wall is out there. This looks to be the top line for Union. You've also got Andrew Chapman. So in second period, ready to go. Will Slozzy versus Matt Ryan on the opening draw of the second period. Just make sure we've got 5 players on the ice. Sticks down. Pucks drop down, we're off for the second period, and Hallam remarkably have won the draw. Perhaps a better sign of things to come. It's brought D to D. A little error there, though, by Broughton, and Union trying to step forward early. Finn Wall putting the pressure on Will Slozzy. Oxen, he's been left all alone, and a shot straight into the chest of Evan Byron Bates, and that is completely daft by Emil Oxen. He's bulldozed his way in there, and rightly so, Hallam have responded with a bit of handbags.
That's immediately another strong start for the University of Sheffield. Hallam started off better, they won the face-off like you said, but all it culminated in was another chance. You need to hope that they really are beginning to wake up.
I said a bit of mind games for Hallam would do them a load of good. Well, Emil Oxen's been listening, and he's tried to do it for Union. He just charged through Evan Byron Bates, trying to just get into the heads, trying to get a penalty. Maybe the message from Mikey Slozzy's been, they'll take a penalty here. Get in their heads, they'll do something. They've tried to do one there on Oxton, a little bit of a response on him. And yeah, like I said, they're teammates, but there's no love lost here. So the puck comes round, Wall just shuts off, easy for Saunders to pick one up and get it across to Oxton. He's now going to move forward down the centre of his own zone. He's got Will Slozzy with him through neutralise. We get it onside, pushed wide by Broughton. Oxton will put the brakes on, hard hit there by Wall, and Broughton will get himself into the thick of it. He'll hit the deck, and this comes round first to it, though. In a handy position is going to be Matt Ryan with his white helmet. That's looped over the top, glove down. And if this is picked up, that should be a hand pass, and indeed it is. A little bit of a brain fart moment there by Uniov.
They can
We'll
afford
have
that.
a face-off. This may even go down in towards the Uniov zone. We'll see. No, it's not. It's going to, as it was in front of where the face-off dot is, you still lose your territory, but it doesn't matter if I've only lost a couple of feet there. So, face-off in front of the Hallam benches. Hot to go. Hallam need to be, as Chapel Roan plays around the Utility Arena here, and it's another face-off win for Uniov. Parkin gets pushed hard straight away. Good response there, and Wickens brings it into the corner. He gets tied up by Luke Creed. Flicked off the boards. It will be cleared out over the blue line, but it's going to be settled back and quickly moved down across, but wayward, never reaching Max Hurst. And now Uniov staring a chance down. The opening goal scorer, Justin Dennison, on the puck trying to feed it through, but that's a weak pass. But they'd left Sebastian Schlito all alone again. So with Wickens, got a little touch on that, so even if it did make it, there would be an icing. A good work of playing the body there from Hallam. And that leaves a gap for it to fall towards Eden Hare. Chipped down, slow to chase onto, but it will fall handily towards Rhys Wickens. Now he'll get pressed in the corner. Assistance coming by way of Max Hurst, but it's going to be cleared out. And Shalito has got speed. And you saw the pundits, they spoke about the speed, he's got the skating ability, but he just runs out of ice. Still with it, trying to feed it through towards Josh Fall. He's been left alone, and a stick tied up nicely. Trying to still get a shot away. Shalito, his shot gets blocked, and it falls out towards the near side. Trying to stretch away for an odd man rush. Hallam actually have the numbers, but as it bounces awkwardly, Wickens at the end of a long shift just doesn't have the energy to push onto it, and now would have put too many bodies forward as it comes back into their own corner. Uniov has the extra numbers there. Emma Taylor-Lonsdale, she can't feed it through. Pocket picked there of Lewis Miles, but Hallam struggling to connect to a jersey of her own and clear it out, and in the end it's Phoebe Gregg who hopefully backhands it out, but straight towards the former Denmark 2 player, Sebastian Schlito. Sorry, that's Noah Owen. His road gets cut off, and now we're seeing some of the depth players getting minutes. It was an aggressive first period. An old man rush coming here for Hallam, moving forward quickly. Ben Land, body's coming back, and his shot taken away from him, and that falls wide. Quickly picked up though by Broughton. Deflected, the backdoor chances there. Can he get the shot away? No. And with Noah Owen again trying to tidy things up. Lovely pass out towards the middle, gets a touch onto it. Still going to be a potential icing, but the puck's not going to make it all. They try and play it down the boards. It's straight back towards Union. Sam Park, get his hands moving over the bar. That goes.
And it's just been about Hallam getting that foundation coming into the second period. A few sloppy passes, a few sloppy shots, not quite got the accuracy that Uniov do.
Owen winds up, blocked away by Byron Bates and out of play. It's a better start for Hallam. At this point of the game, they'd conceded twice. They've got through it nicely. They had a couple moments. They got the 3-on-1. Ben Land probably should have passed it a bit quicker. Defensively, it has been better. It could still improve, but that break has done them a massive favour.
The best thing they can do for themselves now is just fight. Whether it isn't a question of quality at this point, it's just a question of how much they want it.
Yes, Oxenen, there's no question about his quality. Oh, what a shot! Emil Oxenen rips one in from the left side point. Byron Bates, well and truly beaten. And right on cue, he said Hallam have started better, but Emil Oxenen makes it 5.
That is a tremendous goal. We've talked about how good Hallam have been at just stopping, making those saves. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good you are of a goalkeeper there. That is straight in. Oxenden with a fantastic goal. And it's 5-1 as we just start off the second period. Just talking about how Hallam can get back into it, but that could be the kill shot.
And there's nothing you can do about something like that. That is just pure talent on display, oozing from the stick of Emil Oxenen. And Byron Bates, he's been magical. You're not stopping that. And that's a good save, good responses. Well, Swansea try getting their 5th goal in that fashion, with the 6th in the game. Trying to backhand it in again. Taken away nicely. Back up to the point. Got to close them down quickly. That's how Oxenden got the goal. And this time for Hallam, forwards close down the Union of D. Although they've left Oxenden again, looking for a second, and he has it! Emil Oxenden, shining in his future permanent home, surely. It's been 20-odd seconds, and Oxenen's got his second, and Union have their 6th. Hallam are in pieces here at the Utilita.
Well, we are just above the University of Sheffield fans here, and it is pandemonium. That goal has sent them absolutely crazy. Some lovely skill there from Oxenden. Two fantastic goals, so different, so skillful, and just show the kind of player that he is. And he has taken this game by the scruff of its neck.
This is why he is a NIHL National Division Cup champion. He has won a semi-professional ice hockey trophy this year, and that's exactly why he's playing with the Sheffield Steel Dogs at just 19 years of age. And Hallam looking to respond quickly, almost a bit of deja vu, perhaps two bang-bangs for Unioff, and then Hallam respond. Wickens gets taken down hard into the boards as Max Hurst goes aggressive, and there's space now. Unioff moving forward. It's with Dennison. Trying a little drag around, the backhand's there, but it's not a black and gold jersey, and that's quick movement. Here comes Max Hurst, he's all by himself, he's got to one more steal, and there's a chance, and that just goes wide of the net, and it comes down to this near side. Good hit, Max Hurst gets himself back onto the puck, and he had some assistance there from Adam Broughton, the former Peterborough Phantoms junior. But it's a great pass towards a former Sheffield junior as Dennison dangling his way forward just wide of the net, and Byron Bates didn't flinch to that, looked to have been beaten.
Lovely bit of skill there, just to get past his man, get that shot off.
And then he comes one up late, and well, that's smart work. Well, never mind, we're still going to give it a handbag to. I thought Ollie Holburn's backing away smartly, was doing something to avoid, you know, a bit of rough stuff.
So far, both teams have done quite a good job of just keeping back, not getting too involved just yet. Maybe let the tension build up a bit more, but the fans are still enjoying themselves at least, and we go back to the face-off.
Again, textbook stuff straight out towards Noah Owen. He was closed down quickly, but a lovely little drag across the body, gets it out in front, and a shot block. This can come down, but shouldn't make it for icing. What I won't do now is out comes Hayden Oates to play it, and even though it did make it all its way down the goal line, Oates left his crease, and that's not going to stand for a whistle. Poor from Unioff, briefly giving it away. And these are the signs that Hallam need to pounce on it. The puck goes away. They just don't want to chase on. They don't want to put any aggression. There's an awkward bounce, and quick to react there was one of the Hallam defensemen, flicking it to the near side. It's chipped straight back down, and Broughton is going to have to use his body here. He's going to be pressed rather aggressively by Chloe Carter. One of those GB students players that we were speaking of earlier. She went to Turin in 2025 to play for World University Games. Now plays club hockey in WNIHL 1. That's the women's second division with the Cambridge Kodiaks, and she's not the only Peterborough or former Peterborough junior on the ice. Although here's Will Slozzy from range, kick save made by Byron Bates. Brilliant work to stand tall again. Ronnie plays for the Kingston Sharks. Oh, left alone, and Bates again. The rebound, Saunders just outskates the puck, and heart-in-mouth moments here for Hallam as they've just shut off. Oxenden got tripped up, the arm stays down to the referee. A missed hit there as well as Oxenden dances around it, trying to filter it through, nearly finding Sam Parkin, but it just bounced away from him. Back round, it's Parkin. Slozzy picks himself up down at that pivot position, looking to feed it through. That gets blocked, but shutting off there again. Hallam lose sight of it. Saunders winds up Humphreys. That's tipped just wide, and Parkin gets one in the back for good measure, just to let him know Matt Ryan's there. Saunders again rips one over the bar. Round to Oxenden, picked up at the half board. Union picking up the intensity. Slozzy, Saunders closing down. Hallam a lot tighter ship now. Union struggling to find a gap here, which is why they've started to pick up this intensity. Oxenden looking to cut through like a knife through butter. It's loose in front. You see Oxenden just cutting around everyone. Urgency to get to the puck. So what Hallam's lacking. They're still trying to feed it through. Parkin's seeing a gap now. And fresh legs coming for Union. Parkin spots a great pass across. Could it be 7? No, it can't. And Byron Bates holds on to it. And that's probably the best minute, and that's the best shift that Union have had all game. That
was an absolute onslaught. Both teams looked so relaxed. The difference is University of Sheffield are up 6-1 and Hallam are down on the back foot, trying not to concede another goal. University of Sheffield, fantastic there. I'm not sure they'll be too upset they didn't get the goal. But it shows the gap in attitude and quality as we get started back up again.
Credit to Hallam as well. That's the best they've defended.
Absolutely.
I said in the break, Union haven't got out of second gear. They were 5th or 6th there because Hallam, they need a tight ship defensively. That's what they had, and you saw how difficult it was. If they play like that at the start, it'd probably be 2-1.
Yeah, and
you've literally got Oxenden's goals that are like have done that to you. And if that was from the start, it would be 2-1. And actually, it may even be better as the puck flies out of play. And Holly Neenan We said you need a bit of niggling. We said Holly Neenan is someone who's not afraid to get physical. Just right through the back. She did that as well at the women's game and got a penalty and actually drew a response from the Uni Off player she did it to. She did a bit of a hard hit, got a boarding call, she went to the box, rightly so. The player that came off of it then went round, banged on the glass, unsportsmanlike, and Holly Neenan, she's such a good player at getting in people's heads. It's such an oxymoron that a referee can do that, but some players in hockey describe as a little bit ratty. Brad Marchand is one of them in the NHL, so good for just these mind games, these little niggles. And Holly Neenan is one of those players. And a player they're probably going to have to do it to here is Seb Shalito. As he's cutting through a bit of speed, trying to stand up. Here's Rowan Yulot-Bilby. But Shalito for the wraparound. Save made by Byron Bates. Back out to the point. Noah Owens there. The two red buckets. It's played back round now towards the Dane Shalito. Pinned hard by Croter. Assistance comes though, and now again another man who's not been afraid to get the body in. Max Hurst. And Hallam better defending already. Rowan Yulot-Bilby, one of the Sheffield Shadows players. She is some quality, and that was a little pump fake for a Michigan attempt. That would raise her if that's the stage it's at, and that's what the head coach on the Hallam bench should be saying for making a mockery of you. They're trying to go for Michigan's here. That's how easy it is for them right now. And defending like this is letting them know they can't have it all their own way. But where was this in the first period? They'll be begging for answers here, the Hallam fans, who, if they played like this in the first 20 minutes, it would not be 6-1. Could they get it 6-2 though? Max Hurst can't complete his move. And the Unioff fans, they rose for that, they enjoyed it. Josh Fall just dragged that too far across his body. He was looking to get a 1-0, an offside Unioff go, and it will be called as touching the puck there with Josh Fall, and we'll be going back in towards neutral ice.
And Hallam's spirit has come back. Like you say, they're quite happy to let Sheffield sit behind their goal, because they're just going to protect their onslaught. They've done a much better job at just keeping controlled. You know, there were moments where they had defense like that and they just looked frantic. But we'll hope that they can win this face-off here, make a bit more of a game of it.
I'm just sat here in disbelief. Why couldn't Hallam defend like that? That sort of urgency and shape in the first period.
And I will admit, I'm slightly biased as a University of Sheffield student, but you know, you want to see the game, you want to see them come into it and have fun. And it looks like they're getting more into it now, and that's what's good for the fans.
I'm probably harsher on them because I'm a Hallam student, you know, so I'm here backing Hallam as professionally as I can be. And yet when they play like, they have passages like that, the Unioff are going to dominate the puck. They're going to be on it, on top of the puck more than you will. You've got to take the chances you get. But obviously, if you defend tightly and make it hard for them, you know, whilst they dominate the puck, they don't get chances, they don't get shots, they start making mistakes. You then get a chance the other way, as they're going to have to try and take that here, as Saunders is trying to get himself around Matt Ryan. Zlossi is there all alone as well, down low. They're going to try and feed it back to him. Parkin appears in the middle, got to shut him down. They go Saunders instead, and his shot gets blocked. And again, where was that in the first period? And Hallam going to turn back the other way. A 2-on-2. The need bodies moving forward with them. And all alone with it right now in the corner and trying to crash it home. There was a chance around the back door, but I believe Matt Ryan had popped up into something there, and Kai Jano as well. And again, Hallam have really grown into this game now. We're over halfway through, and they need to claw back 5 goals here. It's already a 2-0 period as well to Unioff, and they've only just realised how to defend. And this is the frustrating thing. You play like that from the start, you are not down this much. You've got Oxenen's goals, and that's it.
University of Sheffield have, you know, they've been slightly off it, like you say, maybe. Here we go.
It's poor from Byron Bates. He spilt that in his...
Nearly another chance
he just
there.
rolled out his glove. And Hallam trying to take advantage again from range. Well, that's just a poor decision from Callum McNeil. He's got 2-on-2 there, space in the zone, and he goes to shoot early. It takes a deflection. Now, this is that panic moment now where you know you're down by this much and you're trying to force it. And the only people that have got to blame for themselves right now are themselves. That's poor out in front for defence and error. And Byron Bates comes to their rescue. And there's a very late hit, and you see Ben Lant wasn't happy. A little whack onto the player that hit him there to let him know. I didn't appreciate that. Hallam Ice will put 8:39 to play here in the second period. Unioff leads 6-1.
It's been a really, really interesting quarter period even so far. University of Hallam, like we say, they're getting back into it, but even as University of Sheffield maybe make those mistakes, take the foot off it slightly, they can afford to. And really, in the grand scheme of things, is it going to matter? I suppose we'll see now as the face-off finishes up. and University of Sheffield come away with the puck.
Yeah, it's now with Noah Owen. He's been just getting more and more ice time. The first shift he had was great, and he's being rewarded by Slozzy as he tries to go for the wraparound, just misses. Not quite like Seb Shalito did out in front. Dennison's been left all alone, and Hallam, whilst you know you want to play a tight ship, you've got to have some formation to it as well. Neenan just lets the pass go all the way through, but fortunately Josh Ford couldn't connect with anything there, and it comes out, and now they'll press, but there's too many bodies pushing forward, and actually a mistake's been made. It's going to be waved off. It's taken for granted there. Yellow Bilby, and now closing in. Byron Bates again pushing that aside, and Hallam can't be falling into old habits. They need to shape up. Good bit of work there by Diedrich, and then urgency. We just lose out to 50-50, and unfortunately it's fall to a handy place. Dennison misses the target, and Diedrich just stands him down by 6'6", 192 pounds, just staring you down after hitting you. You'd rather be hit by a bus.
Yeah, that's got to be a scary sight, especially in all that gear.
Oh, it's a poor turnover nearly. I'm so sorry, Max, but Hallam again nearly repeating old errors.
Here we go. University
Oh, they're
of Sheffield.
offside. Well, Uni off with a rare mistake, just shutting off.
I was about to say getting back into control here, but puck goes back to Hallam, and getting ready here for the continuation of this second period. Bit on the ice, fans getting back into it. And here we go with the face-off. We'll see if Hallam can keep up that momentum. They've been better so far this period.
But then again, it couldn't have been much worse. It could not have been much worse. And I think, as we said in the break, that Hallam are going to have to force Uniov out of second gear. They've done that. But now they're experiencing their fifth gear, their sixth gear. And obviously they forced Oxenen to go and make a lovely move. That's where he got both of the goals in this period have come for Oxenden. I'm sure he'll be wanting a hat-trick. Oh, that's coming from a defenseman as well. Although Matt Ryan looking to be a defenseman getting a goal here, and a tip just wide there from Hamish Diedrich. And Oxenden, a great stick check, forces Rhys Wickens off the puck. 2023 GB University player down in Lake Placid. I think the only one that went to Lake Placid. So the only men's GB player for Hallam, when there's loads, men's and women's, for Uni off. That just says it all as well. And before 3 years ago, Hallam had never lost. And now it's looking like a lot of the time they're probably going to lose a lot of them, especially when you've got Emil Oxenen for a few more years, and a shot like that just going wide. Well, at least for deflection, just straight into the pad of Byron Bates. We'll give him some credit. Slozzy wanting another goal, feeding through, and better defending again. You see that Saunders has to be quick. He brings a stick into his body. He's got to snap it instead of have time to wrist it, because the Hallam defence has shaped up a lot better than everything else has been so far this game. But now they need to start focusing on how can we take advantage of that and move the puck forward. Why have we only got one forechecker? Finn Wall's been left all alone. He's won the puck back there, and he's had no support. You turn it over there. You've got both players in the zone for Uniov are behind the goal line. You have someone there with you. You get a 2-on-0 effectively. And now it's going to be a 2-on-1 the other way. Make the pass. Surely it is Sam Parkin. Old habits die hard, and Hallam so poor. And a man with 16 goals at university level this year, and many, many more. He's got 16 in NIHL2 this year. Sam Parkin knows how to score. He's brought the Brazilian scoreline out there. Uniov have their 7th.
You've stolen my Brazilian joke off of me. Now, as we get to 7 goals, a lovely turn of play there. Hallam finally looked like they were beginning to threaten University of Sheffield's goal for the first time
They had a
this period.
chance. Finn Wall with an amazing forecheck. He went 1-on-2, won the puck back, and everyone's over the blue line. Where are they? Over it to that laziness has cost Hallam being lazy, no urgency. They've allowed Uniov just walked out of his own. Oh, look, you've got a 2-on-1. Oh, look, it's your 2 best forwards on the ice. Sam Parkin's never missing that.
No,
and Hallam had a chance at goal. They should have. Finn Wall has made an absolute effort there, and his 4 line mates have let him down. If I'm Finn Wall on the bench right now, I'll be seething.
And now the question might just be, how many can University of Sheffield score? I mean, this has
They've
been...
got 25 minutes left yet.
We're only just over halfway through this game. It's 7-1. Hallam has shown such little threat since that goal.
Well, I think Hallam are probably quite lucky that that's not going to be a delay of game. That from here, it didn't look to have touched the glass, but we've missed it. We've been wrong about a few things tonight from this angle. So there won't be a penalty, but that looked close. And errors like that, there's signs of frustration, just dumping it out.
And they've shown that frustration. They've shown the lack of energy. You just think, what have they got left to offer?
You can't give up. Especially in a moment like this, for many of them, it's the biggest game I've ever played. You've got to play right to the end. And here's a man who does. Matt Ryan, have got a 3-on-2 entering the zone. Matt Ryan needs to get the pass across, and instead he gets tied up there by Dennison. Still picks a puck up. Now he's got assistance down into the corner. It's a great shout there by Max Hurst. Feeding out in front, trying to do to Union what they've been doing to them. Just couldn't get their shot away. Now they'll try and come back the other way to pass away from Shalito, and it's a great stick lift from the man born in London and spent his time growing up in Denmark, but he can't capitalise on it. Turning away. Ryan just snatches at that as he tries to play it down the line. Dennison will collect and send Josh Full on his ones there. But Wickens comes back and tidies that up. Evades Dennison and nearly a knee-on-knee. And you can see the stare there from Cargino. He wasn't too happy about it, but he's going to have to get back defending because here comes Uniov again. Great work taking the stick away. It'll be cleared out. And now they need some urgency. Get a change. It's the long change for the second period. Or get down there and win the puck. But no, only one person. Now Hare has stepped up. That comes round. But if Finn Waller just stepped up there, again, you win the puck freely. You're not got to worry about being offside. Why are you so far down? And it's going to be rinse and repeat, surely. Here comes Uniov. And it's a pretty save. Batting down. That is ridiculous. Waved off. It's been waved off. And the Uniov students don't know it. It's a high stick. And they don't quite know it. No goal. And the Uniov students in front of us are going balmy. And they haven't a clue.
But even then, even if it's disallowed, you can still hear the fans, and that's still demoralising. Something for them.
I think rightly so. It was a ridiculous goal, but the stick is massively above the crossbar. It's definitely no goal. It's heartbreaking stuff like that can't be conceded. But again, rinse and repeat. Hallam, great forecheck, should be forcing a turnover. No urgency to get ahead of the man. Turnover. When you should be getting a chance offensively to, you should be getting a shot there on Hayden Ellis. I don't know if they've actually changed their net mind. That's how little's been. Nathaniel Bell's come in. That's how little we've seen offensively from Hallam. But they've changed their netminder and no one has noticed. So Nathaniel Bell's come into it. But they turn it down. Phil Walton looks offside here. Finwell gets away with one in the first port of call there from Bellis to raise that away from his goal, off his blocker, chip down the ball, it's nicely done, trying to make eighth here this time. It's another 2-on-1, and Hallam have just shut off here, but Byron Bates hasn't, and it's another great save from the Kingston Sharks man. Hard into the boards. There's a little hold there, but nothing too much to force the referees to be called into action. Noah Owen will just dump that in as Uniov try going for a change, and it's a little slow, a bit of a play out of Hallam's notebook here. Now it's Brony Lot Bilby to Wall. Forced wide by Owen, still going at it, flicked in front, just missing on the stick in front of Nathaniel Bell. But again, these are the positive signs. Tipped in front, that just goes wide. Hare, he's been another player that's turned up here tonight. Oh, and just off the stick there of Bell. But Hallam with their chances right now. That's loose and just slow for Hare to push onto it. Get a stick lift in, something, put pressure on. Shove the man off the puck, but instead we're going to walk it down the other way. There's no support down on the boards. I appreciate on a change, but Hallam, there we go. Diedrich's going to pick it up, and it should be a tunnel here. Diedrich, he's a man who's urgency. He's scored here before. He knows how to. The pass is amazing, but the defence is even better. Max Hurst still going out. Up to the point. Oh, that's swiped away. Neenan's going to be called into defensive action here. Uniov coming back the other way, moving rather quickly. Saunders pops a tyre. Still got assistance though. Slozzy can't connect with the pass. He just snatched it and Diedrich's is back. Here's an angry man. Here's an angry New Zealander. Diedrich looking to go coast to coast. He's hassled from behind. It's brilliant there from Parkin. He's got assistance coming in as well. Sebastini into the chest of Byron Bates. And Hallam, again, positive signs offensively, but we've got 1:42 left in the second period. I'm already writing their obituary. It's too little too late.
It was a fantastic spell there for both sides. Hallam really threatened University of Sheffield just a few times. Just unfortunate that the puck couldn't quite fall. And then just like that, University of Sheffield, other side of the ice, other chance. They look threatening every time they come forward. And it's been such frantic energy, especially as we look at the last minute and 42 seconds of this second period.
You know, last year, game, whilst Union was always in front, you never felt that Hallam were out of it.
It wasn't until that third period that they really pulled away.
Yeah, and that's what you want from a game. Where, you know, that final bit, you still, but here, it's just been error after error. For me, Hallam have just, it's not even lacked quality in terms of the talent, but it's just been a lack, it's almost looked like a lack of care.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a lack of care. I think they've made too many silly little mistakes. It's just missing the occasional pass, not quite being able to collect the puck properly. Whereas University of Sheffield have just looked so much more on it.
If there's a man who does care right now, Hallam, it is Evan Byron Bates. I don't want to know what a shot counter is.
And it is rare that, you know, you can play that well, lose this much, and still not be too, you know, obviously be upset as a team, upset for the loss, but on an individual performance, Byron Bates can't be too upset with himself.
I'm going to point this out from the position here. There's a couple of Hallam players who have been sat. You only sit down on the bench if you're injured or you're being punished by your coach. And with how some of them have been played, now the coach have taken things into their own hands, and they're not going to be getting a shift for a little while. They've been sat. Like, in hockey, it's roll on, roll off sort of thing. We don't do substitution. That's the equivalent of being subbed off. And that is to highlight how poor, and I don't like using the word consistently. And again, it's lazy, turning over. It's a 2-on-0 down. Shalito's trying to show off between the legs. This is how easy it's been for them. And now, he's going to go hard on Matt Ryan, but it still comes out to Finwall. It's a 3-on-2. Diedrichs with the drop pass. He's got space to shoot. Save made, a rebound. Can't be tipped by Finwall. And where has this been from Hallam? Just not been consistent enough. They pick the times, and it's a 3-on-1 the other way. They need to be getting back. Hallam just too slow. Surely, brilliant save. No, Byron Bates can't keep out the rebound. And there you go. You get an attack one way, and you shut off the other. You get a 3-on-1. Again, that's the third odd man rush in a row that Union has scored on.
If there was I think you'll struggle to find a better representation of this game so far. A very cheeky attempt there from Seb Shalito, followed by just a well-rounded, well-organised attack from the University of Sheffield. 3-on-1, flick off to your spare man, and it's another goal. 8-1 now, 15 seconds left in the second period. We've still got 20 minutes of hockey to play.
The story of the first period was that Hallam defended poorly. Their shape was too poor. They left people in the middle. Story of the second period is there's going to be a chance here. Oh, how close was that? Still wanting it there. Hallam wanting one late. They're going to run out of time. It's going to be cleared out. It's not going to make an ice. Justin Dennison's going to get the goal credit. But the story of the first period, Hallam leaving, bodies alone in the middle. Story of the second period, laziness from Hallam and getting caught on odd man rushes. And I've never seen a team quicker to leave the ice than Hallam have. They're going to, this is just the ostrich tactic. They are burying their heads in the sand now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the first period, we came out of it and we had all of these complaints about how Hallam were playing, and we said, well, you know, they're not fighting enough and they're struggling on defense, and they're just not quite as well-rounded as University of Sheffield are. This second period, we looked at them and we said, oh, they're actually doing a lot better now. They're more consistent, they're doing really well defensively, and yet University of Sheffield just seem inevitable. Oh, what else can I say? We're going to go back to our pundits now for our punditry at the end of the second period, and you will hear from us again when we get started for the final 20 minutes.
Well, welcome back, and after the second period, the score is now 8-1. Union really starting to run away with it now. Dylan, you did touch on it before. Where has it all gone wrong for Hallam?
Well, in the build-up we did, I praised Hallam's grit last year. They have none. Absolutely none. I've just said on commentary, the issue in the first period was defensively there was misshapen. There was leaving holes in the middle. Feeds were able to move through left, right, centre into the slot. They got punished. Now, Finwall had an amazing forecheck. He went outnumbered, down behind the goal, won the puck back. Where was Hallam? Two of them were behind the halfway line, two of them behind the blue line. You're not offside, the puck's in the zone. someone comes down to the forwards on the far side there, picks it up. You haven't got a 2-on-2, you get a shot away. Instead, they've shut off, they've given up. 2-on-1 the other way. Sam Parkin's got 16 goals in university competitions alone. He's gone over a goal a game. He's got 16 goals playing senior hockey. He's never missing that. But the second time it happened, it got disallowed. It was a high stick. The Unioff fans in front of us hadn't a clue. And the stick went above the crossbar. For me, I love a bit of like they call it like a baseball goal when you bat it down. I love a bit like that.
Showed real skill.
Yeah, and you know, a hockey stick is not very thick, at least on the shaft, and to do that, it's quite impressive. It is obviously not a goal. The stick's way above the crossbar. Referee's made the right decision there, but it does suck, but it doesn't stand. And it's probably one of the best goals we'll ever see at Varsity. But again, it happened because they'd shut off, they had forced a turnover, a loose puck, and they haven't gone to push on to it. So it turns back the other way, an odd man rush, and again it was a 2-on-1. Goal disallowed, but oh no, it's happened a third time. Again, you've got one forechecker in the zone. Whoever that forechecker is for Hallam is doing an amazing job, whether it's been Finn Wall or Hamish Diedrichs or Matt Ryan, whatever. Whoever's just gone, Hare's been amazing as well, Eden Hare. Whoever it's been, the forward that's gone and done it, has then been let down by his 4 other line mates. It shouldn't be. 3 goals have been put in the back, 2 have stood, rightly so. And I'm not going to say it should be 3, but you get the idea that 3 pucks have been put in the back of the net, all from the same error. 3 pucks put in the back of the net in the first period from a different error, but it was, again, consistency of the same error. And for 10 minutes, me and Max were there going, Hallam, where was this? Defensively, for the first 10 minutes, wow, they looked good.
Completely shutting them out, weren't they?
Yeah, if Ox, again, and we were saying, if they defend like that from the start, I don't think any of the 4 goals would have happened. Maybe they might have got the short-handed one. But both of Oxman's goals, the first one, wow, what a shot that was. The second one, he just dangled through. That's a defenseman with 2 goals signed. One of them in a very defenseman fashion. The second one, you would have thought it was a speedy win. You would have thought that was a Shalito goal. But, you know, if Hallam defended like they did for the first 10 minutes of that period, all game, it would have, at least up to the halfway point, it would have been 2-1.
You know, I think in the first break, we were trying to cut Hallam some slack, saying they can come back into the game, and I think we can all say it's too far gone now, but I do want to say, obviously, I want to be careful here because, I don't want to take away from how hard and technical this game really is. But it just seems to be a bit of a skill gap. The way Unioff carry the puck, and it's between the legs, it's side to side, it's fast. And Hallam, they seem to be miscontrolling the puck a lot, and it leads to mistakes, it leaks goals.
And Zach, you were just talking on that play there. You picked out a specific player for his puck handling skills.
Yeah, I think I picked up Morgan Shalito in the first break.
Sebastian
I'm going to say it again. And yeah, he is outstanding. And the number 4 as well was, you know his name, don't you?
Emil Oxenen.
Yeah. I mean, his goal was outstanding.
Both of them.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't necessarily, it's a skill gap. All of these players.
Emilio De Souza really getting the crowd going there.
I was going to ask, is it a skill gap or is it just a lack of confidence? They're 7-1 down. Are they just not feeling confident going forward?
For me, again, I said, on paper, Unioff are the better team. But that is not Hallam having no talent, no skill. The move Shalito did, they all have it in their locker, all of them. The difference is, you can't just go out and do that a 0-0 game, 1-0 game. Your coach will be wanting a simpler shot, a more effective shot. It's at that stage of the game. There was an attempt in Michigan that got shut down straight away. But it's at that stage of the game for Unioff where they can attempt these silly things. And Hallam should be taking that as an insult. I don't think it's a skill issue at all. It's a mentality thing. Unioff have wanted this more. Unioff woke up going, I want this. When Hallam got their only goal, they went back and got a third one straight away. For me, you saw how they left the ice. Unioff straight to the goalie for this. Hallam stormed off. It's a mentality thing more than a skill thing in my opinion.
And when we talk about mentality as well, we can agree that this is an incredibly big uphill battle for Hallam to come back from this now. The game is pretty much over.
Win the period.
Do you not think there's a risk here of Hallam struggling to keep level heads? Because if this was me going into this final period, 8-1 down. You've got these final 20 minutes to get through. There's a serious risk of head loss here, right?
Yeah.
And starting seeing players get ejected.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a common trope in hockey, that sort of thing as well. You know, you can't fill them up on the scoreboard, fill them up on the ice, you know, run into them, give them a big hit, give them something.
Yeah.
You know, I just said it there. If Hallam just go out and win the period, 1-0, 2-1, whatever, just go and say we got, you know, 2-1 in periods.
Restore a bit of pride.
Yes,
back
win a
into the
period.
team. And for the fans that are here, like I said earlier, completely sold out their allocation, both Hallam and Uniov. Just bring that pride back so that Hallam can go back with their heads held
I
high.
was about to say, you know, given the scoreline as well, that's one thing. The team not performing on the rink, sorry. But even the Hallam fans seem to have gone a bit quiet as well. You know, Uniov are out singing them in every chance.
Give them something to cheer about.
Yeah.
I can't fault Hallam for falling off the fans wise. You know, it's not an easy thing to be staring at. It's your big rivals. They're going to go out on West Street tonight and they're going to be made a mockery of. You know, that's the reality of it. And it's probably the most frustrating thing. It's probably the biggest game, the biggest atmosphere we'll have here all year. And that's with a professional team playing here that wins trophies regularly. And this means so much to both Uniov and Hallam students. One of my flatmates the other day came out and it's Varsity Day, I'm buzzing. And they don't say it's Ice Hockey Day, it's Varsity Day.
It's Varsity Day. Do you know,
I said to the swimming go, it's Varsity. Ice Hockey, it's Varsity.
This is
how much it means to them.
It's the big one.
And the players just haven't seemed to care.
It's funny, this morning, anyone in Sheffield knows that it was actually snowing this morning.
It was.
And I came home and I said to Zach, do you know what? It feels like Christmas Day. You know, it's got that sort of buzz about it.
Yeah. No,
It has been Christmas Day. I don't think the Uniov fans can quite believe it either.
No.
I don't think any of us can. I expected Uniov to win. I didn't think it'd be like this. We're saying there's a period to go and we're writing their obituary. That's how bad it's been.
It's almost like this is real kind of like FA Cup type stuff, right? It's like, you know, you've got a big Premier League giant meeting the side from the lower leagues, and I know, you know, you said before that you were expecting a Uniov victory, but 8-1 with 20 minutes still left.
It's looking like they're going to win by a 10-goal difference, which is crazy. You'd like to see Hallam get at least one back in the final.
Four goals scored in periods 1 and 4 goals scored in periods 2. Even if they match that now, and you know, Hallam will be lucky to just get anything back. And I say, just give your fans something to cheer about.
Yeah, I mean, whilst we're going on about something to cheer about, we've spent a long time just hammering Hallam. We've got to give some praise to some of these Uniov players. We said in the our second year, Hallam at times pushed them into 6th gear. The top line here, the forwards, you've got Charlie Saunders, Will Slozzy, and Sam Parkin. They've all got multiple points tonight. They've been absolutely standout. You've got the second line. Shinito's been amazing. Josh Fawler's really stepped up his game as well. And Noah Owen, third line, got 1 or 2 shifts in the first bit. He's been getting regular minutes now because he's stepped up and showed it. You know, Justin Dennison's got a couple of goals. He's been working on. He's not the biggest of lads, Dennison, but he's not been afraid to throw a body. Right? I thought that if Hallam had woke up in the first period, Uniov would beat him. They would. The top 6, they were so good. And, you know, Hallam have been cool. But we do have to sing the praises there. Especially on top line, Slozzy, Saunders, Oxenen, you know, Josh Humphreys.
Stars
Sam
are really
Parkin.
starting to shine now, aren't they?
Really are.
If they know they can get a historic scoreline here, because you speak to them, I speak to a lot of Uniov players a lot, and they really, this is,
You know what?
this is big for them. They
We
love
spoke
it.
about complacency in the first break. I don't think there's any worry of that right now, because as you
No
say, they're going to be
sign of that
looking to make
whatsoever.
history. They're going to be looking to get the biggest score they possibly can.
Yeah, they're picking every nail out from B&Q and putting it in the coffin right now.
Yeah.
Everything. They're trying to make a mockery of Hallam.
Yeah.
And, you know, at the end of the day, it's a bit of a friendly game. It kind of, you know, varsity is not really. But to an outsider looking in, you can understand where it's coming from. This means a lot to them. They are going to really... For varsity, from what we have here in March every year, they hate each other.
Yeah.
They'll go to the pub later and be best mates. But right now they hate each other, and they want to, for the next 12 months they want to go, Yeah, but you see the scoreline last year, we pumped you.
That is why we love sport, isn't it? The passion that they've shown, you see it in the celebrations every time. The passion.
I've had you been, giving me a bit of stick all game across from my position.
Caught ours a couple of times, haven't
Exactly. We're here together, and even then we're all getting it. And this is why, as well, it's so disheartening that Hallam have just not,
Not showing up today, have they?
Showed up at all. I think the refs have made a better effort showing up than Hallam have. No, and I think the referees have been good. I think Holly Neenan probably should have gone for a cross-check. But hold that Dennison was called on. Sorry, not Dennison, Lewis Miles was called on. That's the only, that was one of the only penalties we got. That was, good. But they've let the game go. The referees have been so good letting the game go, let it get physical. But then when either side's been a bit niggly at the goalie, you lose the zone, you get punished for it. They've been spot on with these offsides. Obviously, me and Max thought that Hallam should have had a second goal. Saw the replay, bang on. Full credit to the ref. It's one of the hardest because of how pacey it is. And forget just needing to skate at basically a professional level. Yeah. It's so pacey. It's so hard to track and follow. There's a reason we have 2 refs out there. They've been near enough perfect. Full credit to them as well. They deserve a lot of praise.
I will say, touching on it, I feel this game compared to last year has been a lot less physical, I feel like. I don't know if that plays into the scoreline or whatnot, but...
I agree. I'm not sure if we're going to see that change as we start to approach this final period. And I said about a possible headlock. Yeah. But that is very true, Zach, and I thought the same thing. It's not quite been as scrappy as it was last year, but from a sporting perspective, that's quite nice to see that they're keeping heads level. From an entertainment perspective, I know there'll be a lot of people here inside this building that will want to see it get a little bit scrappy.
I think in terms of the scrappiness, the way that this game on paper it should have played out, Hallam would have been the team that would have needed to be more physical, be a bit more scrappy, a bit more rough stuff, harder on the boards, play almost an old school style of hockey.
Let them know you're there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Union don't have to really do that unless Hallam do that. And Hallam's now not doing it because the heads have gone. They've given, and the heads have gone in the opposite way. They've given up. So they're not even going to take that risk. So, again, the mentality thing. Who wants it more? Union have stuck to the game. The game that Hallam should have gone in from the start is a bit more physical. From the start, your first 20 seconds, make a big hit, go, we're here. But instead, you let Emil Oxenden through, get a shot on goal, we'll go, well, that's how the game's going to go. But someone should have just gone, hit him hard, hit him cleanly, but hit him hard, let them know we're not having any funny stuff. You can skate, fair enough. But we've got Hamish Diedrichs. He's 6'6", 200 pounds. They're going to hit you hard. Matt Ryan knows how to throw a hit. But instead, they've not stuck to what would have been their ideal game plan, whether that's for the coaches or the players or whatever it is. That's probably what Hallam should have done. But if not, Union, on paper, what they should have done, they've done. Hallam, they haven't. And it's now got to the point where Hallam almost have given up.
I think the scoreline definitely suggests that, right? And we touched on it earlier. How difficult is it now to get into... We spoke about the 0-0 mentality, right, after the first period. How tough is it now to keep that 0-0 mentality when you're 8-1 down?
It must be near on impossible, surely.
Keep that level head.
Yeah.
It is, I can't imagine what they're going through.
The easiest way, the coach has to make a decision. He sat some players at the end of that period. Basically, it's the equivalent. You bench, you get subbed off. If you want to play, if you're going to give 110% every shift you're playing, if you've been lazy today, if you've woken up, if you've taken this for granted, don't have players who played twos a few weeks ago would die for this opportunity to play here in front of 10,000 people, right? If you've not been wanting to show up, if your spot could have been taken by someone who may not be as good as you, but has 10 times the heart you have, you're sitting. We're going to play the players who want to be here, who are going to give us a show, and that's that.
Do you think that's something that the coaches are thinking now, like the Hallam coach is thinking now? If 20 minutes left to play, I think it's pretty fair to say that the game's pretty much done. Do you use that as an opportunity to bring players in that maybe wouldn't have got minutes if the game was a bit tighter?
They've already started it. They've already started it. We saw Emma Taylor-Lonsdale, and as well, a lot of the mentalities that, because, say, like the likes of Emma Taylor-Lonsdale and Holly Neenan, I know Holly Neenan's a Hallam player, but those girls played women's varsity. And it's not, they're not going, oh, they're not as good. They've already played a varsity, right? So you'll get minutes when you can, but you've already played a full 60 minutes. You've got lots of ice time. You were the top players there. For the sake of fairness, you're not going to get as many minutes. But now it's at that point where you actually can just go, here, have a few minutes. have more
feel the occasion.
Have some
Yeah,
fun.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. You know, and also, in the Hallam perspective, the women won varsity. They won their varsity. They showed a lot of heart. They had to come back in that game as well. They deserved the minutes. A lot of the Hallam players who take this opportunity for granted. I tell you, those third, fourth liners, and even then, there'll be people in here or sat at home that played twos, be going, I would have made a 10 times better showing. And they'll be, I'll be honest, they'll be upset that they wasn't selected, and some people who have, and they've taken it for granted. And look, there's 10,000 people in here. This is the biggest hockey arena in this country, right? So only, and even when the Steelers don't sell out every game, this could be the top 10 most attended games, even in terms of the media here as well. This probably, in this building right now, might be one of the most attended games in this entire hockey season.
Yeah.
And some players are taking it for granted.
Once again, just shows how special varsity is in this city. You know, to sell out this arena, thousands and thousands, and how loud it is. And I think with the ceiling not actually being too high as well, the echo around, and the players must be able to hear it down on that ring.
The players hear it that and more. And again, Hallam haven't used it. You know, for me, I've gone abroad and played hockey at a decent level, and when you have people backing you, it spurs you on. Even when you're down almost out, it spurs you on. And again, taking the fans for granted. And you're right, the low ceiling certainly creates an atmosphere, I tell you.
Yeah, I mean, if by any chance any of the Hallam crowd sitting over there are watching this stream, get behind your team. Get behind your team. You know, you've gone a bit quiet. Uni are outdoing you.
This is
beat them in the stands. Beat them in the, not physically go over there and beat them in the stands, but beat them in the noise. Beat them in the noise.
Yeah.
You know, go and go. And Hallam, there are more Unioff fans in here. Unioff sell more tickets, right? So as well, that's a bit of a brag for, again, on West Street. Oh, we beat on ice. Yeah, but we were 10 times more passionate than you as well. Just these little wins you can get.
Definitely.
And I say this with genuinely no bias at all, but at whatever sport it seems to be, Unioff really show up in numbers and they show up in noise. And I think today, when you see a performance like that, to mirror the performance of your fans and your crowd as well, it's just special to see.
Look, as well, it's thousands of people turning up for a sport that many of them have never seen. Many of them. Think of all the people who were freshers in September that have never seen a varsity, never been to an ice hockey game. Oh, everyone goes to ice hockey varsity, so I'll go.
Yeah.
I remember thinking the same thing. When I was a fresher, people were saying to me.
And we sell it out with that. I've never seen a game. You don't get that. We don't go out swimming. Not many people. Swimming's not a very popular sport, but we're not selling out Ponds Forge. We're selling this out.
Oh, yeah.
And swimming is more covered. Swimming still gets mainstream coverage for the World Championship. We don't get that in ice hockey, and yet still, you look behind us, it's full. And I do hope as well that for the next 20 minutes of the gameplay, Hallam fans just stick it out to the end as well.
If nothing else.
Yes. Try and get anyone, because it's not just a team on the ice. It's not. This is your university. It's a big package as a whole. As a student, just try and get a win anywhere you can.
It's like go and make a name for yourself out there. Go and use it. We've spoken about Salito. We remember that name from last year. We remember his goal last year. Okay, yes, we remember the ejection as well. But first and foremost, we remember the goal. This is a great opportunity, especially for ice hockey with the amount of people that are here, or in any sport as well. Go and make a name for yourself. Go and make your name remembered in this university.
Shalito for Varsity 2s was a cameraman, and I wasn't there going, this is the cameraman. I'm going, that's the guy that made me lose my voice last year. That's, you know, and we're working together, and I'm there going, God, you're a good player. And there's a lot of black and gold to our left, but I'm thinking the exact same thing. And the benefit is as well, because of where he played in Denmark, he stands out like a sore thumb. Bright red gloves and helmet, he's quite a tall figure as well. You know, you can't miss the man. Again, he's 6 foot. Bright red helmet and gloves, it stands out.
He does stand out.
Those freshers are gonna remember it.
Yeah. We could stand here and say, oh, yeah, watch out for him, watch out for him. But he's showing it himself.
He's not
That is the
scored
best
as well
part.
yet. He's not scored
And
yet.
we're still talking about him.
talking about him like we did last year. And that's because of the wow factor he also brings. You know, and again, someone from Hallam just needs a bit of wow factor. Just do it. Make yourself remembered at the university. People on campus, you know, make a name, make yourself remembered.
Especially with the fact that they've only scored one right now. If your numbers are that low on your goals, you're going to remember who scored. You know, go and make your name for yourself.
Exactly. If I'm a Hallam player on that rink right now, I'm going to want to score. No matter what the scoreline is, you want to score, you want to give the crowd something to roar about, and feel that feeling, you know, because a lot of them on that rink right now wouldn't have felt that before.
And they're still going to go crazy.
Yeah.
You know, even if it makes it 8-2, it doesn't matter. The crowd are still going to be cheering your name and knowing who you are.
Yeah.
And that's really what the players need to make the most of.
I think it's my time now, boys, to head away for the third and final time.
Thank you very much, as always, Dylan.
Right, so that is it. Down to the final third now. You know, it's looking like, you know, a uni of Onslaught, 8-1 at the moment.
Game.
Max, what are you thinking about what the score could be?
Honestly, Zach, I wouldn't like to guess right now. This could start to get a little bit silly if Hallam need to keep that level head, play to what they know. We said about those small physical battles, things like that. Just get those small wins, give the crowd something to cheer about. But if matters carry on and the form carries on from how it was in that first and second period, this could start to get pretty dangerous as
It could get silly.
It's almost confirmed to go into double digits, but how far can Union take that?
Yeah.
That's the real question.
Okay, well that's it from us from now. We'll see you at full time.
We can be worlds apart, but I'll always be your home. Feelings and seasons change, but our love is set in stone. I hope that you know who you know. I hope you know, follow your heart, wherever it takes you. Tears gonna fall, and they'll not just break loose. Life is a road, don't know what's along the way, so drive safe. Follow your heart, wherever it takes you. Tears gonna fall, just don't let it break you. Life is a road, don't know what's along the way. Oh, I feel like running, but I can't escape. And the walls come crumbling, I can see your face.
Back to our coverage of the Sheffield Varsity Ice Hockey Tournament here at Utility Arena in Sheffield. We are getting ready now for our final period here. 20 minutes left of this contest. University of Sheffield 8, Hallam University 1.
It's a victory lap. It is going to be the longest victory lap for the University of Sheffield. I do hope we still see a full wall of purple, maroon, whatever you call it, the Hallam colours over in front of us. Union's going to see this out all the way, and you can't fault them. But I don't like to sound like I'm just constantly bashing or, you know, beating a dead horse. But Hallam have been poor.
They have, yeah, they really have. I mean, you know, we said at the end of the first period, it's full-time score. Now, this is, you know, this should be across 2 games. We're sat here, you know, I'm not sure how energized the players are for this final period. Some of the Hallam players coming onto the ice now, and they do look dejected. And you can't blame them. You can't, because this has got to be a bit of a tricky 20 minutes ahead of them. Just trying to survive, trying to pull something back, get some pride going, some energy going. At the very least, they have absolutely nothing to lose. They've had the embarrassment, they've had the struggles, they've gotten over it. The best they can do now is just try and leave it all on the ice. It's varsity, it's the end of the season. There are going to be people here that, you know, this is the last time they're going to play for Sheffield Hallam University. So just make the most of it. You know, have some fun, which we've been trying to tell them to do for the last 40 minutes, but it really matters now.
I mean, just looking down to our left, the Hallam students coming out, they look dejected, very, very little spark. And I know it's hard to walk on skates, but they look dejected. That doesn't look like, whether players are late coming out, but that doesn't look like a full bench at South there either. And that might be a sign from the coaches, but some players have just been told, don't bother coming out, have an early shower.
And I can't say you blame them. You know, there is a lot of, you know, a real struggle in terms of the team spirit, but a lot of poor mistakes as well. It's about, Hallam seem to have lacked quite a foundation today. They're making silly mistakes with the passes, with the shots. Their defense really kicked in towards that second period. They had a few incredible spells where they survived some horrific onslaughts from University of Sheffield. But now we're getting back into it, and you can't blame Ollie Keeling for saying, right, a few of you, you're not going to come back out. We're going to go out in a blaze of glory.
It's starting to fill up a bit more now down there, but again, they just do not. They just look, their shoulders are slumped. I don't know if you lot can see them on the stream, but they just do not look. They just don't look like they want to be here. They don't look like they want to play another period. I bet they're wishing it was a football match of 2 halves.
Yeah,
that's how it looks.
Yeah, and like I say, I can't blame them. I can't blame them. They still have a third of this game left to play, and they had the first period where they needed to get into it. We said, okay, this is what they can do to improve. This is what they can do to be better. And then we saw them, some improvements in the second period, and it didn't matter. They didn't score. They still conceded. Granted, they conceded from some fantastic goals. You can't be too upset by it, but it's the volume that's the problem. It's a problem of University of Sheffield feel comfortable making mistakes because they know it doesn't matter. But here we go, the teams are coming onto the ice now, ready for our final 20 minutes of Varsity 2026. See where it takes us.
Yeah, and just look at even the little things. Some of the uni-off players are flying about. A lot of Hallam players are crawling to the bench.
And it's impressive. It's got to be terrifying because you think at some point...
It's soul-crushing.
Yeah. You'd think University of Sheffield at some point would want to take the foot off the gas, but I can't see why they would at this point. This is their chance for them to really write themselves into the history of Varsity. They've only won, this will be their third win in the history of this game, and it's going to go down as one of the most impactful. You said at the beginning of the game that everyone remembers who wins the ice hockey. This is the type of thing that no one will ever.
You took the words out of my mouth. No one goes who won Varsity. Like we said over there in between the period break, if they don't go, it's ice hockey day, if they go, it's Varsity day. For many people, this event right here is Varsity. Hallam could win every other event. Uni-off win here, Uni-off have won Varsity. And that's all you'll hear around Sheffield for the next 12 months. And believe me, if, as Max said, you're on pace for 12-1, that's going to be tough. They're not going to live it down. That's going to be spoken about for years.
Absolutely. I mean, Varsity is, at its core, it's about the games that you play. It's about, again, seeing the teams you support, the friends that you have. So for something like this, for the individual event, the result is what matters. It's not about the tournament. It's not about 68 down to 29. It's about the energy here. It's about this crowd, excited.
Well, we're back underway, and early straight away there. Sam Parkin was trying to get a look in. He was poked away from him, but now it's for danger man Emil Oxenen. Curling back in his own zone, trying to find that outlet pass, and he found Sam Parkin. His head up to the sky. It's going to be iced, and that's a rare error there from Emil Oxenen. Yeah, and he knew that pass was nowhere near its target of Sam Parkin on the left wing. And Hallam are going to get an early chance here, just 19 seconds in with an offensive zone face-off.
And look, momentum might not be as big a concern at this point in the game, but Hallam, at the very least you can say, well, we've won, you won the third period. It's still important that they play this as if it's 0-0, as they, survive this last 20 minutes. If they can make a good showing, it doesn't become as bad. It's just too little too late.
Oxenen targeted there. And again, I think we all agree, just win this period.
Yeah.
Have something to take home.
Absolutely.
Some form of pride. And there we go. Here's the physical stuff that Zach was speaking about that could happen. And Hallam probably should have done this from the start, but it's going to be Sam Parkin bringing it in. 45 seconds into this final period. He puts the brakes on. It's a little awkward, and the two 92s are going to go at each other. It comes out towards this near side. Hallam are first to it, and it's a high hit there. Chloe Carter leaving her feet. She's certainly not the tallest of figures at all, and she had to really step up for that one. And again, a couple more body checks this time on the uni offside. But Hallam trying to force it out, a bit of urgency. Crota can't clear that out the blue line. Now round towards Finwall behind his own goal, and a little error there. Sam Parkin waiting for assistance, trailing in. But a good little deke pushes that away, and Fall nearly found himself finding a pot of gold here for the black and gold, and instead it could be a chance for Hallam as turning round. It's Janot, just muscled down though by Joe Bark. And they'll set things back up here, and that's so late there from Hare. You get an idea that it's going to spill over. It very likely could spill over here. Matt Ryan comes to clear that up. Someone's lost an edge there. I think that's Emma Taylor-Lonsdale. She's gone hard into the ball. She still might get a chance here at a look. That's poked away, and thankfully only finds one of the Hallam players. There's a cross-check into the back. This time it's on towards Josh Fall. Hallam try clear this out, and they'll do so. Moving through neutralised. Not the quickest, but it's a great pass out in front from range. We've already seen one from Oxenden on uni offside, but that one, a little deflection, but a sign that Hallam are still wanting something from this game. Dennison's going to bring it forward for uni off. Tries getting his wrist flashing around. There's going to be a chance here over the bar. The pace just been taken off a little bit, trying to get a bit more tactical. Unionov filtering out in front, just wide of the net. Dennison can't get a hat-trick of those from the slot. Round to Fall. Man waiting in the middle. Also, Emma Taylor-Lonsdale now pressed with Rowan Bilby. Still with Fall, though. Unionov just controlling puck so well. Taylor-Lonsdale muscled off, and now Hallam looks set down 3-on-2 the other way. We've got Diedrichs on the outside, or on the near side rather, just cuts over his man. He's going to have to go to him in the corner quickly. They'll do so. There's still a turn one out in front. Surely can they? No! Bell denies.
Max Hurst has been so really consistent across the whole game. Lucky to get that goal earlier, and
I wouldn't call it lucky though. It was a great bit of hockey and a great response after going down 2, and this will be iced and back the other way it will go again. And you sense that a lot of the fans know the game is done. They have really chilled out. This might be the quietest this event's ever been.
Absolutely, and you can't blame them. You know, we're still getting into this third period, but you know, University of Sheffield, there's not as much to cheer for. Is a goal worth as much anymore when you've almost guaranteed the win?
I think with this type of game, at this stage in the game, a goal is worth more than probably a win. As we've got a Mexican wave that is hopefully going to spur on the Unionov fan, or Unionov players rather. Saunders is going to rim that round the boards. It'll be picked up on the opposite side. Now sent back by Noah Owen, but there's a player who's popped the tie. That's Holly Neenan, and she gets body checked hard. And the Unionov fans give that a round of applause. And Neenan with a couple of just loose whacks. There's a slash there, not cool. She was not happy. And the little ratty behaviour has been postponed back onto her. Chance on the back door. Hallam closes down quickly. 5-hole. Owen gets the goal. He bitterly deserves.
Another goal, the University of Sheffield.
And guess what? It's a 5th goal from out in front of the slot. And Noah Owen, full praise to him. Third liner from Germany. He's just grinded so hard this game. We said he was the first person they looked to give the bottom 6 minutes, and then he showed he deserved more. He got more minutes. That, I don't think there is a player who deserves a goal more tonight than Noah Owen. There you go.
I mean, it's been sort of the same story for a lot of these University of Sheffield goals, and it's just, they've just outplayed Hallam every time. It's just turning into quite the game here at Utilita.
Well, Max Chanot had time when puck out, just rushed. It's still going to come round towards Matt Ryan. We've got to look how to go to the point. They'll do so. God, it's a good little shimmy there. Finwall closing in from the blue line. Good stick lift though by Oxenden, shuts him down. The former Nottingham Lions man still pushes on though. That's a bit wayward for Ryan, and no one from the points closing back down, so it's going to be easily brought out by the goal scorer Noah Owen, who will then get shoved into the plexiglass. The puck comes down. It was, in the end, it was think, off the glove anyway of Adam Broughton, so it would have been a hand pass. We've already seen one of them in this game. Of a poor turnover. Hallam have shut off, they've not picked the man up, and Shalito gets brought down. It might be a 1-0 here, but he's a quick skater, still pushing forward. Janot just going to bring his man down as well, losing it. Went so hard on him, and this will go down for icing, and it's actually forced an error. And somehow, out of all of that, Hallam are going to come out with an ozone face-off.
And so far, we've been quite low energy so far this period. The crowd seem to be getting back into it now as we get ready for the face-off.
Well, I've never heard anyone sing Charlie XCX this loud. It just sums up the atmosphere. A great face-off win though for Hallam, but one time from Crota. Just got snatched and deflected wide. Wickens trying to force it into the middle. Stick wrong side there.
Really is, and it's becoming such a. It's still quite a cagey game. The Hallam, I will say, they haven't switched off. You know, they're doing quite well at just still fighting, and you know, the goal maybe felt inevitable at this point. It wasn't like we were going to see a goalless period, but I think Hallam is staying switched on. They're doing well. They're just trying to stay in it now, and I think it's just been a matter of the University of Sheffield being so inevitable. And another shot's off, and it's just deflected out.
Byron Bates. The joys of hockey. Both going for the Michigan, and Shalito nearly ran over for it. The joys of hockey. Both teams get a man of the match. And a lot of the time after a heavy loss, we just give it to the netminder out of pity. But believe me, the best player tonight has been Hallam's netminder, Evan Byron Bates.
I don't think there's anything pitiful about giving him that. He has just been incredible today. It could have been such a much bigger scoreline, but I don't even know if he's kept them in it or if he's just kept them for embarrassing themselves even more. But again, you're annoyed for the team, you're annoyed for the game, but at least there is some pride in your own performance.
Oh, without him in goal, it could have been worse. I mean, Hallam, one of Hallam's biggest issues over the years has been quality of netmind. They've lacked the netminders and the look that Union have had, at least in the past few years. They've got a man who's played for one of the best junior academies, as one of the top goaltending prospects in his age group in Hayden Oates. Obviously, he's not lived up to that hype, but in terms of this level, he's a cut above everyone else. And out in front again, Byron Bates. Leaves that left leg out, pushes that aside. And Will Swazzy back to Sam Parkin. Used to be teammates at Sheffield, so they'll know each other well. Now Swazzy playing for their rivals down VM1 in Nottingham. Imagine both of them with playoff hockey coming up in their respected leagues. Great bit of back checking there. Humphreys is going to step forward off his own blue line. The D-man charging forward. That's poked away by Crota. And well, I bet he was wishing there was a little bit less experienced D-man on his opposite side. But a chance across. Hallam with a chance for two! Bell says no. And Uniova just shut down a little bit there. And a 2-on-1, a rare 2-on-1 for Hallam the other side. Came their way. Cleared. Well, can't be cleared down the balls by Humphreys, but a much bigger man's not going to be muscled off by a much smaller Jacob Sheehan. Experienced player himself there, Sheehan. Played senior hockey, he's got 7 games. Not many with the MK Thunder and NIHL 1. Bell's going to have to play this out here. Hallam going for changes. Well, I don't know if you can hear the chants coming from the Union fans, but it sums it up, doesn't it?
It does a little bit.
It's less than polite, and in all fairness, I think as the Hallam fans are starting to filter out, they can say the product on the ice from their team's been less than polite for them as well. It's been a common thing that the team that plays as a helmet comes off down, one of the Hallam players straight to the bench. But it's been a common theme in this building recently that the Sheffield Steelers fans, the team that plays out of this building, the Utility Arena, have said that the product on the ice this season in the Elite League has not been good enough. There's an obvious hand pass there. That should go all the way down the zone. You know, the product on the ice for the Steelers hasn't been good enough, the fans have said. Well, if anyone who plays in this building annually has a chance to say that the product on the ice this year has not been good enough, it is the Purple Army right across from us.
Yeah, and you have to have some respect for those that are still here, still getting the most out of the price of their ticket, but I can't say I blame any of them for leaving.
No, it's been... There's about 1% of the game has gone Hallam's way. it's been Uniov dominance. Although that is a fine move.
Oh.
What a goal!
And
A lovely dangle. A rare moment of Shutoff, taking it for granted. We said Hallam just need to get a goal, and look at the roar by the Shoe fans. See what it means to them. It's going to amount to absolutely nothing. But Kai Jano, take a bow. Look at this move. Noah Owen, he's just shut off, tucks it 5-0. Bell finally gets beaten as well.
I mean, you've got to, for starters, that's a fantastic goal. You have to give credit to him there. It's a lovely run in, really slick finish, but also he scores, skates off, and his teammates are all around him. You know, he's getting the love.
Oh, he's in again. Jano, he's in again on the backhand. What a move. Jano, oh, he just has the shot taken away from him. Well kept in there by Adam Broughton. But Uniov coming the other way, looking to respond quickly. That sails over into the netting and out of play.
And that has brought the Hallam fans back into it. They were on that feet for their goal. Doesn't matter to them how far down they are by this point. The energy is still here for those that remain. And for the players as well. You know, their heads didn't drop after the goal. They were happy for their teammate. That is the attitude we probably wanted to see more of on the ice.
Absolutely. It is, again, there has been bits of this game. We said it for the first 10 minutes of the second period. Where was this earlier? Oh, that's a lovely move. Trying to get in again. Saunders going all the way. Just has his shot, and first shot taken away from the second one. Trying to pick a corner, goes wide. Little bit of spinorama. They're going Strictly Come Dancing over there. And now charging back Hallam, wanting a third. And we will begin to ask, where has this level of urgency, this want bin, is trying to go hard on Diedrichs. He's a much bigger man, and Wickens doesn't see the puck get rimmed around to the opposite side of him. Still tries to go hard on towards Saunders, but as he turns his back there, the Uniov number 7, Wickens just has to be a bit cautious. 50-51 by Luke Reed. He's had a quiet game, considering the season he's had. Well, that's a poor bounce, goes in favour of Hallam, filtering through, and a great late stick. Stops that beelining out to the point. Rowan Yelot Bilby, her shot got a little deflection. Back round now towards Diedrichs. Hallam looking the better side right now. Matt Ryan trying to go back into the corner to Diedrichs. Flicked away those Uniov, struggling to clear it over the blue line. Aggressive again by Yelot Bilby. Well kept in again by Hallam. Bilby drops off to Ryan. He then mishandles that and has to bring it out. Fresh legs oncoming. Hallam briefly looked like was going to go for 2 many men, but it's not going to be now. And charging forward, Matt Ryan has got assistance. Drop pass, but Diedrichs wasn't ready. Of trying to do too much. Keep it simple here.
And Hallam working with the momentum of that goal.
Wristed in. Oh, it's loose. Tanvey, no! Neenan back in. Her shot gets blocked in the slot. Cleared out. Now Shalito's there. Oh, Shalito's there. Crotus stands him up. Shalito on the backhand, all the way. And a brilliant stop again by Byron Bates. Back straight off the bench. Parking shot goes wide. Shalito, can he filter it through? Oh, he can, and Byron Bates. That is remarkable. And now we get some more handbags. But Byron Bates, he read that play so well. Straight down there. And he keeps the puck out of the back. And I think if Hallam can stop this being double digits, that might be a good day.
I think that's the consolation for this period. I mean, yeah, giving University of Sheffield a bit of a taste of their own medicine those last sort of 2 minutes there. Really, really good onslaught. Obviously, unlucky to not get a goal out of it, but it's promising signs. And I think, yeah, for now, hold on. You know, just try and avoid double digits. But University of Sheffield get the puck back here. See if they can make something of it.
Well, just kept in at the blue line now. Be cleared out off the boards by Hallam. They'll go. The most aggressive have probably been on a four-check in all fairness. It's still not that much. Shalito dangling his way through. Shalito. Oh, Shalito couldn't get the shot off. We nearly got deja vu.
That was some fantastic trickery. Absolutely, Byron Bates left in the dust. Did really well there.
Mr. Silky Mitt straight out of Denmark. You know, the finest Danish export, some say might well be a Danish or some bits of Lego. But right now, here in Sheffield, the finest thing to come out of that country is Seb Shalito. And he's trying to get a deflection there out in front. It just goes wide, back out to the half board. Uniov quicker to it, the most recent goal scorer for the black and gold. It's Noah Owen. The red buckets connect. Shalito, he misses that pass. It splits for Demon and Finn Wall, who's been one of the better Hallam players. Rushes out to it, lines up Parkin on the boards, wins the put back, and no one's there to assist. It comes out towards Bell. He clears that away quickly. And again, Hallam just not giving Finn Wall any help on the forecheck.
Just so there's not enough structure going forward.
No, absolutely not. And there's going to be a chance here, though. Finwall's actually got a handy pass towards him. Tight angle off the side netting. Apologies, Max. But back come Uniov now. Here comes Dennison. All alone right now. He now has Parkin coming up. Try flicking out forward. Little pump fake on a Michigan briefly. Out towards Reed. The tip just goes wide. That connected off the stick of Josh Fall. Back round again. Bit more urgency. Janot waiting for assistance. He's got a man trailing in, but first to his there is going to be Will Slozzy. And the man who, again, I think he may be on a hat trick. We've lost track of who's got these goals. It's worked out by Uniov, but it's straight to Hallam. And again, better structure, trapping them down on the far side to win that put back. 7.5 minutes to go here at the Utilitarian Arena. It's pretty much all done and dusted, but Hallam are now starting to give us a bit of a game. Down the line, it's just evading the Uniov player, but turning his back to the puck. It's still chipped in, though, by Emma Taylor-Lonsdale. Fall has his body blocked there by Holly Neenan. She goes for a smart play. And now we're going bowling in the corner. And at what point? Oh, that is the whistle has gone.
Excited now.
And you can see Dennison. We're going to get a fight. Gloves are off. Dennison rings the bell with Hamish Diedrichs. 6'6", heavyweight fight. Diedrichs, they're both throwing hands there. And the referee splits it up. Still throwing there, Dennison, and that was coming a long time ago. Diedrichs, we've asked Hallam to stick up for their teammates. There it comes, and Dennison, they started throwing bodies. It was body check after body check. Then one person went to charge in, so then a Hallam player responded, and then the whistle went, penalties were called, and Dennison, I think after that, because the whistle had gone, the referee's arm was up, and then Dennison threw the hit, then I think Dennison's getting an early shower.
And we've been saying that some of these players have done quite well to kind of keep a hold on their temper, to let, handbags not escalate into anything else.
As you can see, there'll be a few more Hallam players in the box. What was happening in the corner? There was just body checks, there was playing the puck, it was a scrum, it happened. And for Dennison, after the whistle, a penalty's been called to throw a hit like that. You can see why Diedrichs has straight away gone, ring the bell, then let's go, because it wasn't anything too malicious in the corner. The referee called a penalty, it would have just been a minor, but Dennison to throw a hit that hard after the whistle, unacceptable.
Absolutely, and you look at those players there, they don't seem too upset by the fact they've been shoved away for a bit. Josh Paul, who, if I'm not mistaken, got in quite a similar situation last year.
Look, we said Hallam needs something to take a win for here. Well, Hamish Diedrichs has just absolutely manhandled Dennison there. Well, there's some Uniov fans booing their own fans there. The penalty is going to be interesting. How Dennison's not been thrown out for that, I'm a bit bemused. That was as dangerous as it gets. We've now got 3 Uniov players in the box. Hallam have called their 30-second timeout. That even gets a boo.
What do you think now? What are we 4v2, 4v3?
No, it will be 5-on-3 in favour of Hallam.
There we go. So
it depends what the minutes are, but it should be a coincidental mine of 2 of them, and then 2 of them in there will be the 2 players off. So Hallam, by the looks of it, will get a 5-on-3. I'm bemused why Dennison's still in the game. And actually, we're quite lucky that we're not too far, because if that happened within the final 5, and it's both of them have gone for fighting within the final 5 minutes, the only penalty actually standing, there we go, we've now got 2 on the clock. In there as well is Josh Fall. And it'll be interesting to see the game sheet after it, see what penalties have been called. But 5-on-3 for Hallam then.
Let's see if they can make the most of it.
Yeah, they were 2 minutes away from having an early shout for fighting in the final 5 minutes, and well, there's a chance here. Finwall all alone. Now it's closed down and gives them time to make the save.
This is going to be a cagey 2 minutes for the University of Sheffield, just trying to keep control. I mean, you'd think, you know, what are the chances that they could let it slip? That's probably not quite the realm of possibilities anymore. But again, for now, it's just making the most
well,
of
we're
it.
going to get more here. That again, and big hit. And Rhys Wickens showing his frustration hard into the goal. And I think, well, we're going to... I don't think Neil Orr on the bench for Hallam's quite too happy right now. You can see some aggressive words said towards the referees. The net phone off. I think Rhys Wickens has just gone onto the bench, so he's not going to get called for that. But Hallam will lose the zone because of it. And yeah, Barmy. They said it was coming. Zach said it was coming. I said it was a mentality thing, and it was actually Uniov who started the brawl. And it got to a certain point where Diedrichs had to step in. You know, he's the big man on the team. He had to do something, and he did.
And he did, and you know, I don't think you'll be, you know, too upset about paying the price.
That's a lovely pass out towards Finwall, snapping it away off the blocker. Comes back round, Wickens straight back out onto the ice. He picks it back up. He's not got a man out in the middle. Hallam's formation right now looking a little lacklustre, especially with 3 players. Drop down to Wall, nearly loses out to 50-50. He just holds on. He's got an overlap with him as well. They'll cross over. They have to go for the backhanded pass. They'll try and go up towards Croter up top. He'll just shoot straight into rebounds there, but body's hit for that. Croter off the side netting, Slozzy.
They just aren't even threatening enough on the rebound.
Clear this away. Will Slozzy, by the way, one of the top. He was probably the best penalty killer out there. He will be very unhappy with me if I don't mention he loves a penalty kill. It's probably his favourite thing in the game. He just loves it. You know, it's his real strength. He's one of the best penalty killers I've seen all season, and he's really showing his worth there on the 5-on-3. They've got 25 seconds left on the power play. Oh, what a tip there, Finwall! And Bell somehow seen that late, got his leg pad down. Cleared back out towards the point. Source too high. Matt Ryan still there though with the puck now, down back into the corner. Back with the Canadian. Trying to filter it through to the middle. There's a gap there, there's hesitation. They'll go across instead. And then the shot gets blocked late. It's loose actually, and it's tucked in. Bell's made an absolute blunder there. He's made the save and not covered up, and Hallam have their third.
That is so unfortunate for the University of Sheffield. Just caught sleeping there, trying to clear the puck away. Just slapped in. Hallam celebrating once again. And it's 9-3. They're doing what we wanted them to do in this period. Just pulling it back, doing themselves a little bit more proud.
Is it on? Is it on?
Maybe it is. 5 minutes, 6 goals, 7 goals. We'll see. We haven't quite planned for overtime, but you'd be upset if you're a Hallam fan that had left by now.
I'm not being funny. I would love that. And because, well, it was going to go back to full strength anyway, but because it was a 5-on-3, only one player came out of the box, but now we're back to 5-on-5 anyway. Bracing hard there. Hurst is, well, Fall has taken an exception to Hurst there for literally no reason, and is trying to get a reaction, and he's just ignored it. Finn Wall credited with the goal. He probably deserves it. There's a mistake there by Shalito. Hallam don't push onto it. Kaijano with his second point of the night as well. And we're into the final 4.5 minutes. Shalito still yet to get on the board. An unbelievable statement that. And he's going to have some wow factor. Shalito. Oh, it's a lovely pass out in front. Oh, Evan. It's just what he's done all game. And it's a sentiment to, you know, the pressure he's been in, but we're still praising him after conceding 9. On the backhand, turning, pushed away again, and he's had some good highlight reel saves as well.
Absolutely.
Some goalies can really get stat padded, a shot into the chest. No, he's really had to work for it, and he's done remarkable. But Fall plays that back into the corner, trying to go across. Shalito settles that down, and he snaps that, but again, Byron Bates reads that well. Neenan goes late, and it's a diving play from the right winger for Hallam, clears it out into the final 4 minutes here at the Utility Arena. So with Noah Owen.
It seems like that goal from Hallam has just...
Turn over there, Jano from range. Misses the target, comes back with him, trying to filter it out into the slot, but Uniov in set Val, and it's Josh Ford again, pushing forward. 2-on-2 entering the zone. Shalito on his inside. Ford's going to go straight for it, though, and block it away. Shalito picks that up down at the far side. Dropped again. Hallam just overcommitting bodies forward right now. Loose in front, the backhand. Oh, Byron Bates, how have you reacted to that and got your glove to it? We don't know, but remarkable stuff there from the Hallam netminer. Back round to Shalito. Just juggles that up into the air, sends that back out to the point. Round for Ishbel Wrighton. Oh, I believe it's her first shift of the game. Fall, back to right, just away from her. Ryan has to go toe-to-toe with Shalito. Misses the stick lift and then gets it round on the second time with the poke. Well, that's going to be ice shot. It was waved off. It's taken a knockout of something. That was waved off early. Now it's with Oxenen. He's not seen the ice all period, and here he is. Emil Oxenen for the hat trick. Coast to coast, here he goes. He's got 3 more to contend with. Draws that back, Oxenden from range. He goes to the drop pass instead. Just hard off the balls. The rebound is there, perhaps. Out back to the top of the slot. Sent in, blocked again by the Hallam forwards. They'll turn away 3-on-3. Oxenden pedaling back hard. Great poke check, though. And Bark is going to sit his man down. How that's not an interference call, I don't know. And then Broughton tries bringing one in from range, and that never saw the net. Just over 2 minutes to go here. Hallam offside. Now as it bounces away from it, it's not going to matter anyway. Getting a change on. Just avoiding too many men.
University of Sheffield just looking a little bit more controlled now that the numbers are a bit more balanced out. Hallam are still fighting. They know they can do better. Can they prove it?
When Uniov, oh, that's high. That is very high. And Ben, like, you can see him staring down. He's been clotheslined by the stick there of Marcy Sebastini. Hooked him down. I don't know how that's not a hooking or a high sticking call. I understand the sentiment. There's no point really calling things at this stage of the game this late. But if you don't call them, people then start going intentionally for the body. You've got to start getting in control, even if there's 90 seconds left. There's still time for someone to get badly hurt. Missed pass there by Lan. He's been at the end of a long shift. He gives a little whack on towards Valega Sebastini as he brings it forward. Holburn cutting across the blue paint his shot. Sent back down, round, and it's now with Sam Parkin. See if he can work it into the mix. Just over committing the puck just a little bit. Still pushing forward. He's pressed by Neenan. Not the biggest of figures at 5'8" for hockey, or at least in hockey terms, but it's still out in front, trying to go to the forehand, and it's in. And Uniov wake up again. 53 seconds to go. They've got 10, and Hallam were thinking about their burger and pint in the changing room. And Uniov, that might be the first time we've had 10 here. History makers, pure dominance. You'll run out. You'll have to get a thesaurus. You'll run out of superlatives for how good tonight's been for the University of Sheffield.
I mean, that was the one thing that Hallam didn't want from this period. It was, okay, we hold on, make ourselves proud, not make it double digits. And this has got to be, like you say, one of the biggest scorelines we've ever seen, and one of the most one-sided scorelines we've ever seen in this game. University of Sheffield do maybe their only goal for this period is just
It's a 2-2 period. Before that goal, Hallam were winning the period.
Oh, you'd be a fantastic Spurs fan.
We asked Hallam to win a period. If Uniov get a second here, moving forward, just out of reach of Bill Slozzy, and he just able to put the brakes on before he barrels in towards Evan Byron Bates.
30 seconds left now.
If Hallam concede here again and can't at least draw a period, I don't think the night could have gone much worse. And it's, again, the bits they have shown have looked so good. Where has it been? Where?
And we've seen these moments where they've shown us who they want to be.
Just kicked away there by Byron Bates, trying to do his team a favour. Kept in at the blue line by Noah Owen. Broughton goes hard on the boards, can't turn the puck over, and now we're barreling over again into the final seconds here. It's going to be back-to-back years, the third in 4 years. Uniov, until 3 years ago, had never won a varsity ice hockey game, and right now it looks like they'll always win an ice hockey varsity game. Uniov, champions again in 20 2026. Gloves off, helmets off. One of the most remarkable displays in a Sheffield varsity in years. Sheffield Hallam thoroughly pumped into the ground. You're the University of Sheffield 2026, your dominant champion, and the purple could not be quicker to flood out of the arena.
That has got to be one of the most emphatic finales we've ever seen in varsity. Just complete and utter domination. A resounding, incredible. Incredible doesn't even feel like enough of a word. Like you say, we have to get the scorers out. This is unprecedented. A ridiculous victory for the University of Sheffield. And the fans seem to know it. Everyone in here seems to know it. Hallam's almost already filled out. And it's just, what a game we've seen here.
The most frustrating thing is that, cliche, those positive signs. Hallam got 3 goals, and 2 of them were very, very good. They were, you know, all 3 were actually really good bits of hockey, good bits of urgency. They had periods where they forced Union into gear switch. They really made it difficult. Where was that consistently? You know,
Exactly.
the pieces of the puzzle were there, and they decided to do it with the blindfold.
Yeah. I mean, those spells that we look at for Sheffield Hallam and we say, you know, that's what they could have showed us all game. That was what the University of Sheffield were doing for that entire 60 minutes. They were showing us exactly how to play this game, and Hallam's aspirations for how they could have done were reflected on the other side of that ice. And just can't, you know, yes, we can respect the domination of the University of Sheffield, but there is a reason we have been talking so much about how poor Sheffield Hallam has been today.
Honestly, I think as well, Hallam as well was still using a lot of alumni players. Union didn't. Hallam had to call people back to have that 1 year of alumni status. You can still play in university hockey in this country. They're going to be gone. Hamish Diedrich, who's one of the better players for Hallam today, he won't be able to play. This will be his last varsity. Right? Matt Ryan, this is his last varsity. There's some of these will be their last year. They may play alumni, but not everyone chooses to play alumni. And you can't rely on the alumni. There's there's not many players down there right now in 2s that I look at and go, you can call them. But next year they can give us a show, right? They got battered again. It was 9-2. It was again a 7-goal gap in varsity 2s. So they can't. There's no one to pull up again for Hallam. They are going to have to hope, I think, if they want a competitive game, they're going to I mean, Josh Humphreys has been with Union. He's even won some games for Hallam. He's been with both unis for the best part of a decade, but he's still not at alumni status. That's how long Josh Humphreys has been about. Same with Michael Zlossi, the teacher who's able to, you know, stay for so long with Union, blah, 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 whatever. Hallam are going to be begging for some top-class players to come over as freshers next year, because Will Slozzy, Sam Parkin, they're not alumni. They have at least 1 more year in them. It could be 10 times worse, because the best players tonight for Hallam won't be here next year.
And I think the other thing is about this being, like you say, so many players who won't have that alumni status or may not come back. The other thing is, you know, that's not the way you want to end your university career. You know, come here in front of all of the fans, the people that you know go to class with, that you see on campus. It's just such a way such a sad way to just sort of peter out at the end of it. And you really have to feel for some of those players who build up this event all year, are so excited for it, so ready for it, and in the end their best just wasn't good enough.
And you can see as well, handshakes and love all around. Like we say, they hate each other until this point. Final klaxon goes, game's done. This is, you know, it is still all love at the end of the day. Yeah. We had a fight, we didn't actually we had rough stuff, we didn't get gloves off last year. We got gloves off. We got to see big Hamish Diedrich take on the big heavyweight go at it. And he really did give a very quick number to Justin Dennison. But, yeah, look, I mean, there's only so much we can say that Union showed their class and Hallam didn't turn up. Yeah. You know, looking to next year, it could be a lot worse. It could. And that is, if you're, as a Hallam student, that's a concerning thing. I covered Varsity 2s as well. I don't see where they're going to pull players up from. They are going to need a minor miracle, I'll be honest. They've got, we didn't even mention, we've got Lewis Jones, who is the GB Men's University coach, head coach. You know, he's one of the assistant coaches of Oxenden of the Steel Dogs. You've got no one with real coaching experience on the Hallam bench. You've got two top-class coaches that have coached on a high level at a university, at the Olympics of university sport, right? On the university bench. Yeah, I wish I had more to give and break down, but I think we've said a lot of it, really.
We have, yeah, and the energy is slowly beginning to leak out of this room.
Yeah, we're coming back down to it.
A little bit, yeah. And I think it's nice to at least look onto the ice and be able to see these players respecting each other, shaking hands. You know,
that's what Varsity's really like.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, we talk about the dynamics of these players all being on the same team, and I think it's moments like these, not necessarily during the game, but it's moments like these where we remember that, see them shaking hands and hugging, and like you said, this is what it's about. It's about bringing City together.
Well, now getting the medal presentation as the players come out. There is Hayden Oates, who I'm guessing, well, he would have been expecting a lot more time here. He didn't get it, and he only got half a game. It was at that point where you could pull the netminder out and pull in your backup. Emil Oxenden, as he collects his medal, you know, a defenseman getting a hat-trick, he's going to be gutted he didn't get that, but 2 goals, 2 bang-bang goals as well. He's going to be gutted that he didn't come closer.
Absolutely. But I'm not sure like you say, I'm not sure you can be too upset by those 2 fantastic goals. And again, to drive forward in the way that he did, you know, not a box in the box, not hanging around, pushing forward, taking the game by the scruff of its neck.
Well, you just seen Neil Law kick away one of the Uni-off players' gloves on the ice. I don't know if you would have necessarily seen it. But frustrations from one of the Hallam coaches. Again, they are all teammates and friends, so you can get those little bit of nicks at the end of the day. But this has got to be a gutting feeling for Hallam to just stand there and watch them collect the medals.
Especially after, yeah, you know, half an hour of being pushed down. But that being said, you know, you still have to have a lot of respect for these University of Sheffield players, and they must be proud of themselves to get to pick up their medal. There are not very many University of Sheffield players that have said that they have a varsity medal, no matter how many times they win the tournament.
Well, as they complete the medal ceremony, there's not much more from, at least us here in the commentary box. You've got about a minute left with us. Any final thoughts, Max?
I'm trying to, for your sake as well, making sure that my emotions are kept on. I will say,
you know, if you want to have a cry about it, have a cry. Just don't rub it in too much.
This has been an incredible game. Every time we come here, the atmosphere is incredible, and it's been no different. It's a cherry on the top to have such a resounding win as a University of Sheffield student.
Like this, I'll be honest, the score sums up the entire varsity score. It was a heavy scoreline in the actual varsity. It was a heavy scoreline in the hockey. But I'm going to leave you the final thoughts of Max, and I'll see you back on the punditry desk.
Well, there we have it. 10-3 final score. What a performance from Uni-of. We spoke after that second period. Can Hallam, you know, regain a little bit of pride, get a few goals back, make their crowd cheer? They definitely did that. Obviously, it was going to be a crazy battle to be able to get into the game properly. But as a watch, I just think that was fantastic.
To be honest, credit to them. They did hold it down in the final.
They drew the period. They was leading the period until the final minute.
Yeah.
And well, it would have been that much of it, you know, that sort of game. We completely forgot. Like, we completely forgot for a long portion of that final period. They was leading it, and we said go out, win a period. They drew it, but end of the day, it's one of them where,
Compared to the other two as well.
in hindsight, where was that at 7 o'clock? That is what a lot of the Hallam fans, I think, rightly will be asking.
Yeah,
where was that at 7?
Yeah, if they played like that the full time, we might have had more of a game.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
we'd be sitting. We may not be here right now. We may be in overtime. Maybe getting shootouts.
To be fair, they were a completely different team, but it does make me think a little bit, did Uniov take their foot off the gas a little bit, rather than kind of, would your analysis, Dylan, be that actually Hallam won that final period, or was it a case of Uniov taking the foot off the gas a little bit?
I think Uniov obviously took their foot off a little bit, but Hallam did fall off of it as well. But when they needed to, Hallam took their chances.
Yeah.
They made honest mistakes come out of Uniov. They weren't, we've won the game sort of mistakes. They were honest mistakes. And again, it goes back to where was that at 7 o'clock? They weren't two fluky goals they got. And in hindsight, they'll be disappointed that that's not been consistent throughout the night.
Definitely.
I would say that everything we said about the first 2/3 was almost reversed in that final third. We saw the gloves off and the punches being thrown. We said there was,
Yeah, we said, didn't we? It's going to be a little bit of a head loss. So I think it kind of got to the point where Uniov lads thought, do you know what? We can afford to get ejected here. The game is done. Let's give the crowd what they want.
No one got ejected, surprisingly.
But penalties, sorry, yeah.
But it wasn't even a Hallam head loss. It was Uniov. I said in the commentary, the battle in the corner, there was no malice in it. And then Dennison, he's got a hat-trick, and for me, his hat-trick tonight's going to be overshadowed by the fact he went and made a nasty hit very high after the whistle. And for me, you should be ejected for that. And rightly so, Hamish Diedrichs, a lot of the time in hockey, the big man's never going to pick on a small guy. But in instances like that, Diedrichs, you're being pumped anyway. You go, may as well, I'll give you one. And it lit the place up again. A lot of the Hallam fans have left. And that said, win something. They want to fight, at least. They can take that, and I don't think there's many people in this building that could beat Hamish Diedrichs. Unless the boxing from Uniov that won on Monday night is here, I don't think many of us can give Hamish Diedrichs, a big New Zealander, a run for his money.
Do you know what? It was actually a little bit disheartening to see that Hallam really started to play the stand so early. A lot of them would have missed the final goal that they scored as well.
Both goals.
Yeah,
and the fight.
And that's what a lot of people come to see. That sort of entertainment aspect of it. It's a real shame, but I understand that with the transport and the track and everything. Like we said earlier, people want to get back. People want to still go and celebrate what Varsity has been for them and their teams and things like that. But yeah, it's a little bit of a shame that they missed out.
Well, like we said, we're going to be on West Street tonight. With all of the big events that happen, because of how big event this is, everything's going to be locked off tonight for the students. You're going to be out in the clubs, in the pubs or bars, wherever you go, wherever you get your late night fix. You're going to be, you're not going to have that chance to go. So you have the uni off streets go, we beat you, yeah, but Hamish Diedrichs. We went on about Seb Schlito for a long time going. He's a name you remember. The Hallam fans that said it tonight will be going, yeah, but Hamish Diedrichs. Yeah. He won a fight. We got two. And they missed 2 goals. They've missed these bits, making these. Because the rivalry will always be, even when Varsity's gone, we'll still be friends, but there'll still be these little subtle jabs. And I'll get a message from one of you lot in a month's time going, ha, do you remember a month ago? And yeah, they've missed out on seeing at least that.
Yeah. You know what? After seeing, the gloves come off and the punches being thrown, I couldn't believe it, to be honest. And are they still going to be friends after that?
Oh, yeah.
You think?
Hockey players are nuts.
It's just
That's just part of the sport.
Hockey players are genuinely nuts.
Fair enough.
Genuinely,
they will.
Yeah. They'll be having. The minute they leave the ice, they're having a beer together. I'm telling you.
Reminds me a little bit of rugby as well. Kind of, it can get very, very.
Oh
physical.
no, it's even more confusing than rugby because sometimes, from my experience of knowing people in rugby, you're more likely to genuinely fall out with someone and have a grudge in rugby.
You can, but quite often you will see them in the clubhouse after.
Oh yeah.
2 players that have had it out in the match, they'll go and have their pints together after, and
these will be best buds. It's not necessarily a pint of appreciation for other sports, but it'll be genuinely best buds.
Oh,
it will bring them closer together.
Yeah.
And to be fair, you have to be. People say a lot. You have to be a special kind of person to want puck shot at you at nearly 100 mile an hour in some cases if you're a goalie. But again, you're walking around with 2 tiny blades on your feet at 40 mile an hour at some speeds. You know, you can really push it. You've got to be some kind of nuts to want to do that and find fun in it. And then go beat each other up, hit each other hard. People take the mick out of American football as being rugby with body armour, but there's a reason you have to wear body armour. Same with hockey. It's a certain kind of sport when you have to wear protection.
Yes, definitely. It was needed as well today, and I'm quite happy to be able to say that it was needed, because we spoke earlier on. I'm not. Don't really like saying it, but that's what a lot of people do want to see, right?
Oh yeah,
a lot of people do want to see that fighting, that scrappy nature. That's what whether people like it or not. That's a big part of ice hockey.
Even a lot of genuine hockey fans that come and watch the Steelers here week in, week out. A lot of them, their biggest thing is they want to see that.
Up until the final third, I think it was fair to say that the game was quite mild. I would say that last section there was the most entertaining section of the game.
Especially compared to last year as well.
Oh yeah, but as well, it was quite close for 40 minutes last year. Unioff did their talking on the ice. They didn't need what Justin Dennison with the hat-trick. He didn't need to go and do what he did.
No, he didn't.
It was arguably done after 20 minutes. It was definitely done after 40 minutes, really.
Yeah, like we said in the second period break, they've gone to B&Q. They've got as many, bolts as they can, and they've hammered the nails into the coffin. The game at 4-1, 40 minutes ago, it's possible, but it's hard.
Yeah.
At 8-1, some players would have been contemplating if they should even go out for change. And again, like we've gone on about it a lot, it's a mentality. And full credit to the Hallam players for coming out and still getting 2 goals, drawing the period, and still making a show.
It's definitely a case of they can still keep their heads held high.
Absolutely.
After that third period,
I mean,
definitely.
Some players, Max Hurst, Hamish Diedrichs, Matt Ryan, Eden Hare,
there was
Evan Byron Bates in goal.
There was special individual performances. Maybe as a team it lacked a little bit today.
Yes.
But it's always nice to be able to point out those positives and say, do you know what? Yeah, that player had a good game. That player had a good game. No matter what the scoreline is, there are still going to be positives to take. And I think that's really
one of the
important.
things about hockey as well, because obviously there's 20 players on that take to the ice. A team can perform really badly, and you can still go, well, a handful, 25% of them, or even 50%. I've had a really good game. And it's even more inflated with the circumstances.
Yeah.
And we could go on and on about the quality of that uni offside.
Yeah, we can.
But at the end of the day, I saw Oxenden out once or twice, same with Parkin and Will Slozzy. I mean, their job was done. They didn't need anything like that at the end of the day. But, their job was done. They had put in the work and they deserved the break. They had really worked hard. And you can tell who wanted it more. Well, the top six forwards for Unioff, I think they wanted it the most out of anyone.
Yeah. And you know what? It's a real credit to Hallam. We got a bit ahead of ourselves in the break, and we said that it could have been 12 or 13 for Unioff, and it wasn't looking that way.
I mean, double digits is still something.
But Hallam still came out in that final third and gave it a good go. They didn't give up at all.
Do you know what? I said earlier about Unioff taking their foot off the gas slightly. Maybe they did, but it still required that defending from Hallam, definitely. And they can still, the full-time result is a full-time result, but they still can hold their heads held high and have a little bit of pride in that final period.
Definitely.
Yeah, you got to have something to take home about. If you lost every period quite badly, you've got very little positives. Even with 1 goal, you're there going, where are the positives? But
it finished on 10. We were thinking it could have been 12, 13, 14 at one point. It was starting to look that way.
Yeah, and I think as well, Unioff definitely deserved their 10. I mean, obviously we can look back at some of the goals and go, Hallam have really let themselves down here, but even if Hallam were more consistent at Unioff, definitely deserved the win. I think not just from a skill perspective, but just from a want. If you turn up and want it more, you deserve to win it.
And I think that's the difference between, we talk about individuals from Hallam playing very, very well. But as a team, as a collective, as a unit, Uniov just had that edge today.
Oh yeah, and we said this on the commentary, me and Max. This could be a theme for a long, long time. Unfortunately, that could, because I obviously I called the Varsity Twos game as well. A lot of the Hallam play. Hallam are relying on quite a few alumni. They will not. This will be their last varsity. There are players like Josh Humphreys who've still not reached alumni status after years. You know, like you're deep into your masters and your PhDs, that level, right? And he's not reached alumni status yet. Neither's Will Slozzy, neither Sam Parkin. They've got
It's an exciting time for
They've
Uniov,
got a
isn't it?
lot. They've still got 1 or 2 more years left in those really good players. That's Emma Loxton's first year at university. They've got at least 2 more years, 3 more years of that, right? I don't look down at that Varsity Twos team and see where Hallam can pull players up from. This Uniov team was full of Bears first and second team players. Hallam were having to get some C team players in. And I don't see anyone right now in the development varsity and Varsity Twos that can come up and fill these spots. When the likes of Matt Ryan and Hamish Diedrichs, that's their last varsity. They're done. They're not going to be back here. Yeah. So who's going to fill that gap? I don't see it. They're going to need someone like Emil Oxenen coming over in the summer and like coming to uni as a fresher in September and doing them a favour. Because right now, we could get bigger score lines in 3 years' time.
Times are looking dark for Hallam.
Because Oxenen as well, in his professional career, is going to get better.
Yeah.
So, you know, but by the time he's playing his final varsity, he could be playing every home game here, every weekend for the Sheffield Steelers. When he'll be, what, 23, 24?
Yeah.
Still pretty young in his
Am I right in
career.
saying that was the 13th consecutive loss for Hallam in this event?
No, Hallam, this is...
In terms of varsity as a whole.
Total. This is only the 3rd time that Uniov have ever won it. They've won it 3 times in 4 years now. For the long running of this event, it was just Hallam. And I said on stream, it used to always be Hallam, and now it's looking like tables have turned.
So what changed?
That new wave of players that have come in and players that you speak that have still got that future ahead.
I do have a good answer to this. I have asked, obviously, the Uni of Sheffield head coach Michael Slozzy about it. I was like, well, why? Why do you think? And it's actually how the universities took students. And that might be why we're seeing a bigger gap, because beforehand, you'd get some players that were much better at sports, the more academic times. So it may have also in their education, may have put more focus into the sport. So didn't necessarily get the grades because Uniov used to be much higher. And then when the government changed the entry requirements for the old universities, not just for the old polytechnics, it then allowed some students or some players that would have ended up at Hallam actually got the grades to go to Uniov, which is that's why Hallam would get loads of players who would get B's or C's and they'd go to Hallam. And now there are players who would get those sorts of grades that end up at Uniov. And that's from Michael Slozzy, who we might be speaking to in a bit. But that's his reasoning, that since the government changed the guidelines of how universities can accept students,
I've learned that that's had an effect on quite a lot of sports teams as well. Someone that I know didn't quite have the grades to get into Uniov and was being told that he was going to be told he had to leave the country if he didn't become a university student basically ASAP, and he's now representing Sheffield Hallam in water polo.
Yeah, and it I was adding a bit harsh. It's been a long night, so. You know, to be fair, if you Uniov want to, give me something exciting to watch, I'll sit back and let it happen. But yeah, it's something that normally it's not necessarily a bit of luck. There is a genuine reasoning why Hallam's quality has dropped off, because a lot of people can now focus on going to University of Sheffield, which is the bigger university. There's always these things about being a polytechnic and stuff. When I was walking in, there was a chant about the Hallam students they'd rather be a poly. I'm not finishing the rest of it. But there's that sort of, thing about it. And now those people that wouldn't have got the grades to get into Uniov now can. So the more sporty types that may not have been as academically good now can go still to I guess what is on paper a better academic university. And that is from the University of Sheffield's head coach, and that's what he's seen the difference in.
Definitely. It doesn't look like we are going to get the head coach to speak to
I'm
us.
not being funny. I want to blame him if
unfortunately.
he's already on the beers.
Yeah,
I would not blame him.
I would
And
be too.
it would be rightly deserved.
Yeah.
Some of his tactics days, it has to be mentioned about him. You know, if he's the face-offs, where players like Sam Parker were positioned off the draws, created so much pressure in the first 2 periods. And that's not necessarily to play it. That's the coach saying, this is, you know, from, I guess, the tactic book, this is where we're going to go.
They're
This
very well
is
drilled.
this is the systems we're going to run. This is how we're going to forecheck. This is how we're going to break out. And there wasn't many of that. But the face-offs were the big thing, and that's going to come from the bench.
Definitely.
I do just want to say, you know, what a day.
Yeah,
What
fantastic.
a month.
It's really, yeah, what a month, you're right. But it's weird standing here and actually being able to hear ourselves talk. Because
Yes.
now the crowd's empty and it
Yes.
just shows, you know, this was...
I'm a naturally loud person. I haven't noticed.
Started to bring us down, but I think we're going to leave you with that.
Yeah.
Uniov have taken the victory once again, 10-3 on the night to Uniov, and Uniov once again take home the varsity trophy.